back and win this ball game, they would clinch the Western Division title, and the two teams would play right here next week in that big playoff game. Everybody in the stadium now expecting the long pass from Berger. He sends a man up the middle. Oh, what a surprise play. And a play that'll be questionable.
Oh, come on, fellas.
I don't know why they just don't put Randy in.
Well, I'll tell you why. It's because they're crazy. I mean, that pea-brain owner does not have the sense God gave a mule. Oh, they ought to string him up.
Stringing up's too good for him. What they ought to do is take him out and shoot him.
They can not plop him down in the middle of a cattle stampede.
Yes.
I'm so glad that you boys have a proper perspective on the game.
Well, now, CJ, it's not just because Randy's my friend. I mean, he also happens to be the best quarterback around. I mean, besides that,
The Bearcats are at the line of scrimmage. Bobby Berger marking out those signals. He takes the snap. He fades back to throw. He throws long. He's got a man open. Oh, he overthrows him. What a tough break for the Bearcats. Timeout is called on the playing field. 7 seconds showing on the clock. It'll be the Bearcats' ball. 4th down and 15 yards to go from the 45-yard line.
Bearcat could still win if they just put Randy in.
I don't know if Randy can pull him out now.
And you know, I think all the...
Crusher, give me another scotch. Time to go easy on the ice.
I'll get it.
You sit down and let him get it. Pay to be the gopher around here, so let him go for my drinks when I tell him.
What do I get paid for, Jacques?
What did you get paid for? You kidding?
From start to finish. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what's going on along the sideline. Buck Turley is pacing. He's made a decision. I think he's going to, yes, he is going to bring in dandy Randy Haynes to play quarterback in the final play of this game and maybe of the year.
What's going on down there? Crusher, give me that headset. Curly, Mr. Stryker. What the hell do you think you're doing?
This game is on the line, Stryker. Haynes is our only chance to pull it out. I'm going to put him in.
Listen, you stick that has-been back on the bench where it belongs. Put in that toss-back draw play we worked on. Curly, did you hear me? Curly!
You should have fired him 6 weeks ago when you wanted to. Your first instincts to destroy people are usually your best.
Why don't you shut up?
He's the best coach in the league, and Randy's the best quarterback you have in the field.
What is this? Mutiny on the bounty? Hired hand, caught back?
Jacksonville will rush only 3 men on this play, dropping them back for pass defense.
Down. Ted.
Haynes takes the snap. He drops back. We're down to 5 seconds, to 4 seconds. He's looking for somebody. Can't find him. He might be sacked. The long bomb. There's Bobby McMasters in the end zone. Touchdown, Bearcats! Randy Haynes has thrown that touchdown pass to McMasters, and it's a 20-17 victory for the Bearcats.
That's the way to go there, Randy. That's the way to go. Hey, Randy, get it on.
And what a finish we had here today. Moments ago, the press had gathered over at the Jacksonville locker room door, but now, of course, they're in the California locker room. I want to talk to the players, to the coaches, and everybody else, but first of all, ladies and gentlemen, we want to talk to the owner of the California Bearcats, and he is Mr. Jock Stryker. Sir, there are rumors that there is dissension on your ball club, and yet the Bearcats came back in the final minute, in fact, on the last play of the game and win the championship. Does your team thrive on inner turmoil?
Inner turmoil? The only inner turmoil I hear about is what I read in the papers. Sometimes I think you news hens, you tend to blow things out of proportion. Hey, look, we're in the playoffs, ain't we?
You are in the playoffs. You are the Western Division champions.
Right.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back with more in just a minute.
My luck, I guess. I couldn't find anybody in the opening. All of a sudden, Bobby McMasters got... Hey! How you doing? You all right? I'd expect you to be here.
Well, you don't think I'd miss your shot at the playoffs, do you? I mean, I flew all the way in from Kansas City, and I tell you, you did it again in the last 7 seconds.
Well, just like you did against Penn State. 18 seconds to go, and you complete 3 touchdown passes.
Well, how about you against Notre Dame and that 88 yards? I tell you, you pulled it off with no time left.
Who is it? Who's out there? Oh, it's you. Now, what do you want? Well? What's this, the game ball? Hey, what is this, a gag? Huh?
Good morning, CJ.
Good morning, Houston. What took you so long to get here?
Well, I decided to swing out over the Pacific and watch the whales heading down to Mexico. Boy, they pretty.
Houston, that's wonderful, but I've been trying to reach the ranch for the last hour. Now, our unfavored owner, Jock Stryker, was murdered last night. Look at this.
The police got any idea who did it?
Not yet, but you got a call from Randy. Now, he wants to talk to you pronto, and he sounds like a man in big trouble.
What are we waiting for? Well, hello, Vince. What are you doing here?
Guess I could ask you the same question.
Well, let's just say we're here as concerned fans.
Oh, then you do have a client.
Well, right now he's just a friend. Now, have you got any idea who killed Stryker?
Yeah. Somebody who didn't like him. Take your pick. See, Houston.
Vince is certainly in a good mood, don't you think?
Yeah. Wonder what he's up to. There's Brady. Come on.
Kick. 1, 2, 3, shake.
All right, we'll start scrimmage in about 10 minutes. Oh, Doyle, you go in for O'Farrell and the blue team. Hey, Kreischer. What's Woody limping about? Late hours or a pulled muscle?
I guess. Both.
Hey!
Hey, old buddy. Good to see you. Thanks for coming. Man, yeah, to CJ. How are you?
Hi. Great game last night.
Thank you.
I understand you got a problem.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure. I mean, it was no secret how Stryker and I got along. I mean, one screaming match after the next. But now you got to understand, he always set me on the bench. He wouldn't play me.
Well, Randy, you do have a reputation that makes Broadway Joe look like a Boy Scout. How much did that figure in Stryker's thinking?
Well, I guess a lot. But now that reputation is past tense. It has to be. These knees aren't what they used to be. Houston, with luck, I got a couple more years left, and that's it. I need them. I'm broke.
Broke? What do you mean, broke?
Well, when I didn't blow, my business manager stole. But I still got a couple more years to make up for it.
If you can get a second chance to prove yourself, right?
Look, as long as I am not accused of murder, there's a big company who wants to hire me as their spokesman. We're talking about a line of sports clothes, commercials, personal appearances, endorsements. We're talking long-term big bucks.
Well, Randy, that's all great, but would you do me a favor? We've been friends for an awful long time. Just look me right in the eyes and tell me why you wanted me to come down here. Because I got this feeling that you think that the police are coming after you and nobody else. Now, why is that?
You always could read me faster than a bad pass defense.
Well, you always used to say good pass defense.
Well, that's when we were in college. You were helping me in my calculus papers.
Yeah, you were terrible at it.
You know, I got a call this morning. I couldn't recognize the voice. It was very muffled. They claim to have ironclad evidence that I killed Stryker.
What kind of ironclad evidence?
I don't know. They wouldn't say.
Oh, whatever it is, the mystery voice is probably trying to sell it. Did he say how much?
No, I didn't say that. He said he wanted to meet first.
Randy, if you're being blackmailed, you should have told Novelli.
Well, would you? I mean, if the world knows you hate somebody and he's found dead, would you go call the cops when somebody claims they got evidence against you?
Listen, where'd you leave it with the blackmailer?
Well, he's going to call me back. Tell me where and when.
Well, when he does, you get in touch with me, all right? Pronto.
You got it. But Houston, I'm scared. I did not kill Stryker. This thing could mess me up. When I'm done with football, I mean, I'm not like you. There's nothing else. I got to make the most of these last 2 years.
So why don't you get yourself out there and get ready for the big game? We'll see what we can do about this thing, huh?
Thanks, buddy.
You got it.
Right.
Bye-bye.
Hey, Randy. Anybody believe you?
Of course he did. Told you, Woody, my best pal.
Hey, guys, look at him.
Ladies, this is football, not a peep show. Now pay attention. Come on, get back in line. Come on. And 5 and 6 and 7 and 8.
After 3 days, Randy's blackmailer still hadn't called, but Houston and I used the time to begin our investigation of the dead man and round up a list of people who might have wanted to kill him. Now, here we have Jock Stryker, the murder victim. Obviously, this was the man with the Midas touch. He not only owned the Bearcats, but he was on the board of 9 major corporations, and he had a little saying, "I don't get ulcers, I give them." Andrea Lott. She met Stryker 4 years ago when she was hired to organize the team cheerleaders. Apparently, he enjoyed her, shall we say, team enthusiasm. They've been living together ever since.
Yeah, well, did she stand to inherit anything?
Well, I still haven't figured out who got what, but I did find out that Stryker used to occasionally use her as a punching bag.
Well, that's rude.
Yes, it is.
Well, it's Buck Turley.
Looks a lot like Bear Bryant.
You know, he's the best coach in professional football.
Also, they had the classic love-hate relationship. Stryker loved him when they won, hated him when they lost. And Turley just flat out hated Stryker. He thought that all team owners were necessary evils.
Yeah, well, you better do a little more checking on him, CJ.
Thanks a lot, Houston.
You're welcome.
And last but not least, we have Crusher Kowalski. He has the extraordinary title of player rep, but in fact, he was only a gopher for the deceased. Now, they were close for many years, but in the last few weeks of Stryker's life, they argued a lot.
You neglected to mention that Crusher Kowalski was a 3-time All-Pro lineman, traded 2 years ago to the Bearcats, never played a single game for his new team. Football is sort of a hobby of mine.
Funny, you don't look like a football fan.
Do you want some more? Stats are my most fun. Most efficient passer, Sammy Baugh. Pass completion percentage, 70.3, 1945 at the Washington Redskins. High point scorer lifetime, George Bland at 2002. Longest kickoff return...
Yeah, Murray. Now, what about Crusher? Now, how come he never played for the Bearcats?
An auto accident in the preseason. Leg injuries.
Hello? Yes, hang on. It's Randy.
Hey, Randy.
I just got a call from the blackmailer. He wants me to meet him tonight.
What time?
8:30 at the stadium.
Listen, I don't want you anywhere near there, all right? You let me handle everything. Good enough. Oh, listen, CJ, tonight was the night I was supposed to treat you to that Texas T-bone with all the trimmings, right?
Yes, it is, and I'm not going to let you get out of it.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, in that case, if I'm a little late, why don't you go ahead and start without me, okay?
Houston, where are you going?
While you're keeping the T-bone warm, I'm going to the stadium, and I hope to catch a blackmailer. What happened? Why'd you hit me?
Look, I didn't hit you. I found you like this.
You know, somebody hit me. How come I'm all wet?
You were in the whirlpool. I pulled you out. Somebody was trying to drown you. I didn't see who. When he heard me coming, he ran and got away.
Wait a minute, don't I know you from someplace?
Too Mean Malone.
That's right, you're a lineman for the Bearcats.
Yeah, me and Randy are buddies. Real close. That's why I've been following you. I want to help you out on this case.
Well, I appreciate the offer, but maybe...
I said I was going to help you. Well, let's just say I saw this movie once about an ex-football player who wanted to become a private eye. Well, it got me thinking. I got my future to consider.
Yeah, I tell you what, maybe we could discuss this another time.
Are you trying to say you don't want my help?
No. Yeah, you see, it just takes time to train a detective. You got to...
I'm a fast learner. Ask the coach.
I'll tell you something. See, my head's really not hitting on all 8 cylinders right now. Now, okay. Yeah, I do have something for you to do. You see, I need to find out who's got keys to this place, who might have left it open so you and I could get in here. Now, can you run that down for me?
I'm already on it.
Hey, Crusher, Neil's phone for you.
I'll lay off the contact work this week. Just concentrate on the passing drills. I need you in top shape Sunday, boy.
Okay, Buck, thanks. I'll be ready. Don't worry.
All right.
Hey, Houston. Heads up. Yeah, it's not bad, Houston. You haven't lost much over the years.
Yeah, well, I almost lost it all last night. Instead of catching a blackmailer, I almost got myself killed.
What? Well, I don't understand.
Yeah, well, I got the same problem. You see, the question is somebody really trying to blackmail you, or were they just setting you up for an ambush? I'll tell you something, Randy, it doesn't make much sense. And the only thing I can figure is that somebody's got something on you, and you're not telling me anything about it.
Well, I swear I don't know.
Oh, come on, Randy. This is me, Houston. Now, we've been through an awful lot together. Now, how am I supposed to help you if you don't let me know what's going on?
All right, there's one possibility. Look, a couple of months ago, Stryker threw a party. I had a little bit too much to drink. Well, let's say a lot too much to drink. Stryker benched me. I was mad. We had another shouting match.
Well, who else was there?
Oh, Andrea, Turley, practically the whole team.
Did you threaten to kill him?
Well, I don't know. Like I said, I was drunk. If you want to get the exact words, talk to Andrea.
Why Andrea?
Well, she lived with Stryker. She'd have his tapes.
What tapes?
Well, he was kind of a recording freak, I guess, like Nixon. Taped everything that went on inside his office. Looks like I'm in a little bit of trouble, huh?
Well, we've been in worse jams than this before.
Nat Houston is a man who never forgets a face, especially a beautiful one. So while I went back to the office to dig further into our suspects, he went on alone to talk to Andrea Lott. War is hell.
Now, I would like the chairs all around here, and the podium for the minister should go right there, okay?
Well, I tell you, this is some yard. How many head of cattle can you run back here?
Can I help you with something?
Well, my name's Matt Houston, and I'm looking into the death of Mr. Stryker.
Oh, well, I thought the police were handling that.
Well, they are. You see, I'm just looking into it for a client.
And that would be
Randy Haynes.
a great quarterback, lousy politician.
Yeah, I bet you're talking about the night he got drunk out at the party here and threatened to kill Mr. Stryker.
Oh, he's a better man than I thought he was. He had so much to drink that night, I didn't think he'd even remember being here.
Yeah. Yeah, listen, I understand that Mr. Stryker used to make tape recordings of everything that went on here. Do you suppose I could listen to the one at the party that night?
Well, I don't see why not. Come on, they're in the cabana.
As a matter of fact, I'd kind of like to listen to all of them if I could.
So you could find out who would like to kill Stryker? That's going to be a long list.
You wouldn't happen to be on that list, would you?
Me? No, I'm the last one to want to see him dead. Jock was the answer to this working girl's dream.
From what I understand, he wasn't above working over his working girl.
Jock was an ugly and mean man, but he gave me more chances than anybody else in this world. When I did a good job organizing the cheerleaders, he put me in charge of publicity. This year, he was going to make me a vice president. No, not because I live here, but because I earned it.
Did you earn the beatings?
Maybe. The first time he beat me up, I thought I was going to die. Then he came to the hospital and he cried and said he was sorry. That day, he gave me 1% of the team. That was 3.5 years ago. I now have 7% of the team.
Tough way to make a living.
What, getting beaten up?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Don't all of us working stiffs have to get beaten up every day? The boss that yells at us, or the people who have to work the rest of their lives in some factory? There's a lot of humiliation in this world, Mr. Houston. So it's an occasional fist in the face. The tape you wanted would have been August 5th. It's not here.
Are there any of the tapes missing?
No, they're all in order.
Yeah. I believe somebody beat me to it.
Well, I'm back.
Good, CJ. What'd you find out?
First of all, Stryker's will. Andrea Lotta is sitting pretty. She inherited the mansion. Its market value is approximately $2 million.
Sounds like she's coming out the jumbo winner in Stryker's death. What else you get?
Well, the next one's a real pearl. Buck Turley is not only a good coach, he's a first-rate negotiator. His contract gives him 20% ownership of the club.
That's a sweet deal.
Apparently, Stryker thought it was too sweet a deal. He hired a business manager to find some way to get out of it.
And now that Stryker's dead...
Well, obviously, he can't contest the contract, so Turley's a rich man.
Yeah. Well, who else has something to gain by Stryker's death?
Well, Houston, I hate to say it, but your friend and client, Randy, if Stryker was still alive, Randy would be watching those playoffs from the bench.
Yeah. And now he's got a first-string quarterback position on the football team.
You bet, not to mention a shot at a great contract.
Yeah, CJ. Well, listen, thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
Houston, what's bugging you?
Well, I tell you, CJ, it's what you were saying about Stryker earlier. I tell you, if the man went back on his word with Turley and his contract, he's just liable to go back on his word with lots of other people, you know what I mean?
You mean Andrea?
Yeah. You see, when I was going to school and playing football, if you wanted rumors, you went to the locker room. But I tell you, CJ, there are just some locker rooms that I don't have access to.
You don't mean locker room as in teddy bears?
Yeah.
Matlock, Houston, if you think that I went to law school for all those years just to impersonate a cheerleader,
CJ, hold on. I mean, the thought of that. I wouldn't ask you to impersonate a cheerleader. Now, a photographer or a news person, yeah, listen, you'll be great, CJ.
Great.
Houston, I need you for 5 minutes. We'll talk. You can make fun of me. I just gotta talk to you for 5 minutes. All I'm ever gonna talk. You can make fun of me.
Hold it! Now, come on. I mean, but first off, I can't understand a word you're saying when you're all talking at once. Second off, I really don't have time right now, but now we'll get back to this, all right? Thank you.
Mr. Houston.
Go. Sorry, fellas, you just missed it.
I know who you are, Mr. Houston. I seen you with Randy at the field. There's someone who'd like to talk to you. So, if you don't mind.
Well, I tell you, fellas, right now I'm in the middle of a staff meeting right now, and we were just talking. I suppose the staff meeting could wait a few minutes. Listen, Crusher, you are just the man I wanted to talk to. You know, I've been looking for you.
Come on, Swenson. You want to wear a championship ring, you got to do better than that. Don't bend it, break it in half. Get low.
It's been a pleasure talking to you, Crusher.
Coach, Mr. Houston.
Well, glad you could make it, Houston.
How could I resist such a charming invitation?
Well, when I talk to people, I like to do it on my time and my terms. Well, now, that's more like it, Swenson. You might wear that ring yet.
Would you do me a favor and tell me why I'm here?
Oh, it's the game Sunday. For the first time ever, I'm going to run this team the way I want to. And that means that Randy's going to start at quarterback.
Not if he's in jail for murder.
He's innocent. I'm counting on you to prove that.
What makes you so sure that Randy didn't kill Stryker?
Houston, I know my players better than I know my own sons. He is no killer, believe me.
And what about you?
Why would I want to kill Stryker?
Well, it's like you said, now you get a chance to run the team the way you want to. Everybody knows you hated Stryker. That's no secret. Besides that, now that he's dead, there's no chance of him reneging on the contract. Says you get 20% of the team.
Oh, done your homework, haven't you? Yeah, sure, I hated Stryker. The reason I went to work for him, though, is because he gave me a piece of this club. But what the hell, Stryker was always reneging on deals, trying to back out. You see that guy over there?
The Crusher?
Yeah. He had a lifetime contract with Stryker. Tried to get out of that one, too.
Yeah, he doesn't look like a man that'd deal with disappointment very much.
Oh, you are so right, baby, so right.
I'll see you in a minute, Coach. Houston, how's it going? You see any light at the end of the tunnel?
Yeah, I'll tell you right now, I've got so many unanswered questions, I'm lost. Listen, would you do me a favor and give me a lift back into town? I sort of got stuck out here without my car.
Well, sure, you can use my car. Come on, I'll give you a lift down to the parking lot in my cart.
Good.
Say, Houston, whatever happened that weekend you took Mary Lou McAllister to Laredo?
Wait a minute, I thought you took her. How's your arm doing today?
I'll put it in the cart.
Houston was worried. This morning, Randy was just a suspect. Now, after a second attempt on his life, it was clear he was a target. Someone was trying to kill him. To protect Randy, Houston needed help from Novelli, who at the moment was off duty and having his own problems.
Listen, have you seen Vince Novelli around?
Houston, perfect timing. Hold this, will you?
What are you doing?
Does it look like I'm doing hand gliding? I'm spending my day off cooking. Mama's chef didn't show up, and I'm helping her out.
Yeah, but anchovies and lasagna?
Oh, hold on.
Vince, if you'd rein up for a minute, I'd kind of like to talk to you.
I can cook and talk.
Yeah, well, it's about Randy.
Oh, Houston, thank God you're here. Please, could you give my Vince a hand?
Oh, relax, I've helped you before.
That's why I'm worried, figlio mio.
Houston, taste this. How is it?
It's good, Vince. Now, about Randy.
Look, everything's gonna be all right. And since that bomb totaled out his cart, we have a 24-hour police guard on him. He's safe.
Yeah, but Vince, he's going to be out on that playing field on Sunday, and there's going to be 70,000 people out there. Now, how are we going to protect him then?
Look, I'll talk to him at Stryker's memorial tomorrow. I'll convince him not to play.
Vince, it's the most important game of his career. I can guarantee you he's going to be there.
Listen, you'll be a sitting duck out there. I don't like the look on your face. It usually means trouble.
Yeah, well, not this time, Vince. I'm just trying to figure out a way to protect the man.
What are you talking about?
Well, I could always get my arm back in shape.
You gonna go out there for him?
Vince, he's a friend. I'd do the same thing for you.
Making yourself a target, that's crazy.
That's what I'm afraid of. This is yours.
As I've said before, there was no way Houston was going to get me to go down to that cheerleader locker room. So obviously, I didn't go.
So, when is our picture going to be in your magazine?
Well, probably the next issue, or the one after that.
What'd you say the name was?
National Sports.
I thought you said it was U.S. sports.
Did I say that? Well, we changed the title a lot because we want to keep our fans on their toes. Now, we're going to do a little cover story on Andrea Lott. You know, a woman behind the man kind of thing.
She's lucky then.
Really? How's that?
Well, rumor was Stryker was going to dump Andrea. The only reason he hadn't up to now is he had his lawyers trying to get out of some stuff he'd given her.
Did Andrea know that?
Oh, well, if she didn't, she was the only one around here who didn't.
Well, do you think that Andrea is capable of murdering Stryker?
You ask me, I wonder why she waited so long. She's one tough cookie.
Do you think it would help with your layup if you had a shot at me just with my pom-poms?
You bet. Houston, not only did Jock Stryker have his lawyer working against Andrea, but once the bloom fell off the rose, apparently he started seeing a lot of other ladies. And I guess Andrea believes that turnabout is fair play. Rumor had it she had a boyfriend on the side.
It's a happy household. Any idea who the boyfriend is?
Not yet, but I did manage to track down a photograph of Crusher's car wreck. And a very interesting tidbit. Apparently, the night of the wreck, when he hurt his knees, he was not alone in that car. Randy, Turley, and Jock Stryker were all there with him.
Well, how'd it happen?
Wet roads, Crusher lost control of the car. There was an inference that he might have been drunk, but the police never pressed charges.
So the Crusher wrecked his car, ruined his knees, and lost his career.
And then Stryker put him on the payroll for $100,000 a year.
Oh, that's an awful lot of money for a glorified gopher.
Right. And totally out of character for Jock Stryker.
Sir, if you'll just let me explain, I know I can satisfy. So, Houston, help!
I found this guy sneaking around with all these papers.
Yeah, well, don't worry about it. He works for us.
Well, he does? Well, he looks so suspicious.
Well, he's paid to look suspicious. He's our accountant.
Houston, why is Two Mean Malone running a security service for you?
I'm his assistant.
A what?
Oh, wait, he's just sort of helping out Murray.
Oh, well, now, if he's going to be on the payroll, he's going to have to fill out a W-4 and...
No, Murray, you don't understand. He's not on the payroll.
I'm not?
Yeah, well, it's just a technicality. Yeah, Murray, you'll figure that out for me, won't you?
I want to know how he knows who I am.
Oh, Murray's a football fan.
You don't look like no football fan.
Oh, I am. And you're Two Mean Malone, the leading lineman in football. But you've got 19 sacks, 7 interceptions.
And no W-4 form.
No W-4 form?
Two Mean, what are you doing here?
Well, you remember you asked me to find out who might have the key to the locker room.
Oh, that's right. Well, what'd you come up with?
Well, as far as I can tell, the only one is Buck Turley.
Sounds like I better have another little chat with our favorite coach. CJ, while I'm gone, see if you can find something for Two Mean to do.
I'm coming with you.
Like I said, CJ, he's coming with me, and I'll talk to you later.
Maybe he's already gone to Stryker's memorial service.
That's locked. I tell you what, we'll just catch up.
Wait a minute.
Do you realize that's very illegal?
Well, I thought it'd be a shame for us to come all the way down here and not get a chance to take a look around.
That's a good point. Well, isn't that something? I'd say Coach Turley's got some explaining to do.
What is it?
It's tape we've been looking for. I believe it's going to tell us everything we need to know.
Are we early?
Actually, you're a little bit late. We were supposed to start 10 minutes ago.
But nobody's here.
Well, it doesn't surprise me. Everybody did hate Stryker.
Well, at least somebody came.
He brought the chairs.
Excuse me, I really hate to say this, but I have a wedding in half an hour and another funeral right after that, so we really should be starting.
Shouldn't we wait for Andrea first?
Well, she called. She won't make it either.
But she lives here.
If we could all be seated, I can begin. The deceased, he was the football person.
Yeah.
Ah, that's what I thought. I pride myself on individualized services, so I prepared something special. Please. Dearly beloved, none of us knows when the big referee will call us. Whether it'll be in the first half or last quarter of our lives. So we should live each day as Jock did, as if it were a 2-minute warning, a grand slam homer, a slam dunker. So when that day comes, when we stand before those pearly goalposts, in that great gridiron in the sky, ready to enter the everlasting end zone, where the last dugout will be found, we can feel proud as Jock Stryker, that we played the game as hard as we could down to the final bell. And that through those extra innings of eternity, although it ends in sudden death, we played by the rules. Thank you. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Hey, Houston, hi.
There's good news and bad news, Randy. Now, the good news is I found the missing tape.
Yeah, and the bad news, I heard it.
What does it say on the tape, Houston?
No, not much, CJ. Just Randy telling Stryker that if he didn't start him first string this season, he was going to kill him.
But I didn't do it. Look, I swear to it. Look, somebody must have heard the tapes or something.
Get on the radio. Set a roadblock. Come on, move.
Are you satisfied now, Vince? I mean, all those shots were meant for Randy. Are you all right?
Yeah.
It's the third time somebody tried to kill him. Now, when are you going to believe the man's innocent?
I believe him. That's what worries me.
Why would that worry you, Vince?
Because Sunday's game is all the closer, and I still don't have a killer. And I'm worried about what happens when number 9 runs on the field to play quarterback.
CJ, I am telling you, we've been going about this thing all wrong. It's not working out. We've been asking ourselves the wrong question. We keep asking ourselves, who would want to kill Jock Stryker and Randy Haynes?
That's the wrong question?
Yeah, see, we ought to be asking ourselves, why would someone want to kill both of them? Now, come on, let's take a look at these motives.
Houston, what we need is a common denominator.
Well, that's right, CJ, but for the life of me, I can't. Wait a minute, that's it.
What's it?
It's backwards.
Oh, good. Now, Houston, if you
No,
would just...
CJ, stop your gabbing for a minute. That's backwards. Oh, let's scoot our boots. We gotta get to the game.
What a crowd. Of course, it's a sellout crowd, ladies and gentlemen. 69,812 here for this great playoff game between the Jacksonville Hurricanes and the California Bearcats.
Hey, Houston, you here to cheer me on?
Well, if I'm right, I'm going to save your life.
What are you talking about? Now, Billy's got scores of cops out there covering the field. Besides, that killer's probably long gone by now.
That's wrong. See, the killer really doesn't care about getting caught. He just cares about revenge.
Revenge? Well, do you know who it is?
Randy, the night Crusher got in a car wreck, you were with him, right?
Yeah, so was Jock, Turley.
Crusher told the police that he was driving. Well, I'll tell you something, Randy, I really don't believe that. Because I saw a picture of that car wreck. The whole rear passenger section of that car was damaged. And there's no way he could have gotten hurt unless he was sitting back there. Now, why don't you start telling me the truth?
I was driving, drunk. I was still in Stryker's good graces back then, and he was afraid if the cops found out I'd be arrested.
So Stryker bribed the Crusher to take the blame for a fat paycheck every week.
Look, I wanted to go to the police the next morning and tell them what really happened. Stryker wouldn't let me. He said not to worry, he would take care of Crusher.
Well, he took care of him all right. He promised him a job for life. Till he found out that the Crusher was still seeing Andrea. Then he said he was going to fire him. So the Crusher is out of a job, and because of you, he's out of a career.
So Crusher killed Stryker, and now you think he's out there?
That's right, and he's waiting for you, Randy. Now, if you go out onto that field, you're going to be a dead man.
Well, I gotta go out there.
Well, no, you really don't have to. Sorry, Brett.
The weatherman has really cooperated for today's game, and the vendors, they're doing an outstanding business. The commissioner...
Houston, are you ready yet? Houston, can you hear me?
I got you, Vince. I'm coming out of the tunnel now.
And here comes the hero, Dandy Randy Hayes. The California Bearcats sporting a Flossy season record 11-3-1 towards the Jacksonville Hurricanes.
Oh, I tell you, Vince, that's some kind of feeling running out onto this field and all those people cheering. Just like old times.
Houston, would you hold on to your ego and listen to me? I got men stationed all over this stadium. If Crusher doesn't show up, I'm gonna look pretty silly.
Well, look at it this way, Vince. If my plan backfires and I get myself killed, I'm not gonna be around for you to say I told you so.
The Crusher gets there pretty quick. Biggest damn game of the year. I need that Randy in there.
Believe me, as soon as we get the Crusher, I'm gonna send Randy in.
And if Houston gets killed, I'll send Randy.
Yeah.
Great coach, Buck Shirley through the years has been the point of a lot of controversy, but one thing can be said for sure. He usually comes out on top in anything that he tries. And of course...
Hello, Vince. You guys come up with anything yet?
No, nothing yet. Hold on.
What do you got?
We just got a report that there's somebody on the roof. We're checking it out now.
The Hurricanes have the ball deep in their own territory. It'll be 1st and 10 from the 12-yard line. It's a spread formation. The quarterback drops back. Nobody to throw to. He swings wide to the left side, and the linebacker, number 55, comes up and drops it after a 5-yard gain. It'll be 2nd down and 5 at the 17-yard line. Pretty good blocking there, but perhaps a busted play. And at the outside, a Bearcat offside. The hook line went down and played out.
Don't move, man. You'll only make it worse.
No, I got a bulletproof vest on. Come on, let me up.
Two-Mean circle around on the other side. Along the far sideline, what's that? There goes Randy Haynes and Two-Mean running down the side, and they're chasing the mascot. They're chasing the bear. I don't understand this as they run down the ramp to, well, they're out of our vision now, down into the belly of the stadium. Got to do it over.
Houston, I should have killed you when I had a chance.
A little late for Monday morning quarterbacking, isn't it, Crusher? You better let him out of there. I believe he's got a football game to play.
Right.
Oh, thanks. I really appreciate this. You guys were terrific Sunday, beating the Hurricanes the way you did. And do you realize if you win the championship, this football could be worth upwards of...
Is it normal to include a home phone number when signing an autograph?
Absolutely. This way, if anyone ever doubts it was really you.
We'll just call you up and you can verify it.
Matter of fact, maybe you ought to put your home address down there.
In case the phone lines are down.
Houston, I just don't know how to thank you.
Well, you just play next week's game the same way you did Sundays, and we'll call it even. How's that?
Randy, we are so proud of you. Why don't we go have a Texas steak with all the trimmings?
Well, I would love to, CJ, but I've already got plans.
Oh, you do?
Well, you see, in the interest of Bearcat team unity, I'm going to sort of take the cheerleaders to dinner.
I thought you were in training, Randy.
Now, don't worry about it, CJ. I'm sure the girls will give him a good workout.
JD, it's been so long. Maybe this is all a mistake, trying to make a comeback.
Everything's gonna be just fine. Look,
What did I tell you? Look at this. Oh, darling.
They did that for me?
All right, now remember, this is just a rehearsal. Take it easy. Try the number. Okay, we're ready.
Good morning. This is Army Archer talking to you from Hollywood. And this is truly a good morning. A morning when beautiful Ramona Landers is back where she belongs, in front of the cameras, for the first time in 12 years, making her new film. Well, we'll be talking to Ramona, and we'll also be talking to her co-star, handsome leading man Todd Gallagher, as well as to the film's financial backer, Mr. Miles Gantry, a most interesting man, a Rodeo Drive jeweler, who decided to make his movie business debut by backing this lavish production. And, of course, to brilliant young producer-director, Mr. Bill Claudius, who's at the helm of this multi-million-dollar spectacular.
Crying out loud, she's been in makeup for 3 hours. How long are we supposed to wait?
Until the lady appears, not a moment longer.
I don't understand you. Ramona Landers is a relic, a haunting ghost from the past. Casting the two of us as star-crossed lovers is bloody ludicrous.
It's not too late, Todd. I'll be more than happy to close down production today and recast if you want out of your contract. We can announce it when the press conference starts, if you like.
That's exactly the shot I want in the scene when she's cutting his hair.
I never thought she was going to really come out of retirement.
Still fretting over our leading lady, are we? Come along. The great lady approaches.
Henry, you're still here after all these years.
Well, actually, I retired a couple of years ago, Miss Landers.
Ramona.
When I heard that you were coming back today to start filming again, I called in all my debts so I could be here.
That's the sweetest thing I ever heard.
They don't make stars like you anymore. Not real movie stars.
you still fail to realize is what can make this tired old love story a classic is the age difference between Ramona and you. It'll be like Bo Derek playing Rick in Casablanca. E.T. as a musical. That's what makes it exciting. Different. Ramona.
Oh, Bill, how nice.
I can't tell you how wonderful it is to see you. You look lovely.
Thank you. I haven't received the changes we discussed.
Yeah, you'll get them tomorrow night at the latest. Good?
Good.
Ramona.
Oh,
Welcome back, Ramona.
thank you, Arnie.
We're all interested to know why you chose Delilah for your film return.
Hey, who you kidding, Army?
Well, if it isn't Todd Gallagher, Ramona's leading man.
What really interests America is what body beautiful health nut Ramona Landers really has in her orange juice. Oh, just as we thought, folks. Almost straight 100 proof vodka. So that's what keeps the old girl so well preserved.
Keep tape rolling. Todd.
It's just Dane. He's dead.
There's an old saying that if you want to deal with someone effectively, the first thing you ought to find out is what his passions are. It's a lesson that Murray, Houston's senior VP and financial wizard, never has caught on to. I mean, now here he is, way out at the back of Houston's ranch, trying to talk business with Matt while Matt's wrapped up into the passions of his life. Horses and chili. Texas chili, that is. The only real kind.
Own private satellite into outer space just so you can watch the Oiler games live is really not good business practice.
I never said it was, Murray.
We get the Grand Ole Opry live, too. It's worth whatever it takes just to get to see Dolly Parton and her...
No, I don't think this is going to get it, fellas. It needs 3 more green chilies and 6 more red.
3 more greens and 6 more red. That's exactly what I said. Didn't I say that? I said 3 more greens and 6 reds.
Where are you going?
To the office.
But I'm telling you, in the hound's ear you did, you were talking jalapeno and cactus. But you're the one that tried to hunt pinto beans in the Texas chili.
Wait a minute. Let me get this straight. This is the chili that you've been working on all week? This is the chili that you hope to win the contest with? And in doing so, win that horse, a horse that has become so important to you that I have had to cancel 3 corporate meetings and a merger for? I mean, I don't know why you just don't buy the animal.
You see where I come from. We figure winning's twice as much fun as losing. And this here's the chili that's going to do it. So what's your point, Murray?
Well, if winning the contest and the horse mean all that much to you, why are you cooking out here? Behind the stable, downwind from the pasture.
Oh, you just don't know nothing, do you? This here's Texas chili, the only real kind. The aroma's just all part of it.
Houston, come on!
Stick around for a while, Murray. You might learn something.
Now, wait a minute. Look, I drove all the way out here because you said you weren't coming into the office.
Well, that was before I found out that somebody tried to kill an old friend of mine yesterday. You see, Ramona Landers' daughter called the office about 20 minutes ago, and she thinks she knows who tried to kill her mother.
Ramona Landers? The movie star? You know her?
Oh, hell, Murray, I bought this ranch from her.
If you knew anything about Texans, you know that practically makes Ramona family.
By now you should know that another one of Houston's passions, the only one that could pull him away from something as important as chili and horses, is helping friends.
Molly, you're all grown up.
Oh, I don't know how to thank you. I didn't know who to turn to.
I told you a long time ago, Molly, if you or your mom ever need anything, all you had to do was call. I meant that. Now, CJ tells me you got an idea who tried to kill your mother.
I do. It's my stepfather, J.D. Harris. He's trying to kill her just like he killed my father and twin brother 7 years ago.
Now, that's pretty strong stuff. Have you got any proof?
Well, my twin brother, Eric, who was killed with my father, he told me in a dream.
Would you like to go inside and sit down for a minute?
Okay. First, what you have to know is about my mom and dad. When I try to tell people how much they loved each other, they just kind of smile. I mean, my mom being a famous movie star and my father being an important director. Well, people think they know all about those Hollywood marriages.
Now, listen. You don't have to explain anything about your mother's relationship with your dad. Everyone knows how devoted they were to each other.
Then how could she have remarried just 2 months after he was killed in a plane crash? And especially to J.D. Harris. He was only a stuntman. And ever since they've been remarried, he's kept her away from making movies and all of her friends.
What about the movie she's starting now?
Well, that's just it. He couldn't talk her out of this one. And that's why he has to kill her. Because once she's back with her real friends, she'll see he's just been using her. She'll throw him out without a penny.
Doesn't your stepfather own a chain of self-defense schools?
Right, and every one of those schools my mother paid for. It's just like those books he had published. Nothing he does ever makes money. But Mom's made him her beneficiary. That's why he has to kill her. It's because he wants her money. That's what Eric says.
Your dead brother. In the dream.
Yes.
There was no way of telling how much of Molly's suspicions were based on fact and how many were pure fantasy. But Houston reasoned if there was a chance any of them were true, it was best that someone find out.
It's a cozy little place you got here.
My dad bought it for my mom. They named it Casa de Mantua. Mantua is the place where Romeo and Juliet were supposed to live. If you'd wait down there, my mother should be upstairs. I'll go see if I can find her.
To save more lives and prevent more rapes and having to fight.
Oh, that's him, by the way.
Fighting, impress on them
My
the value of
stepfather.
fast reflexes. Tell him to keep a lock on
Those ladies are his self-defense club managers. He gives them special instruction twice a week.
Hold it. Cammy.
Look, why don't you give me a shout when your mother comes down, all right?
Very impressive.
It's impressive, all right. I just hope it's friendly.
All right, ladies, now you pair off and try.
Hello there. I'll bet you're J.D. Harris, aren't you? I'm Matt Houston. I tell you, I've read a couple of your self-defense books.
You're not welcome here, Mr. Houston.
Yeah, well, maybe not by you, but your stepdaughter, Molly, seems to think her mother'd kind of like to talk to me.
Well, that was a mistake.
Now watch my arm.
You see, the police are investigating the attempt on my wife's life, and both Ramona and I feel that's quite sufficient.
Well, then you wouldn't mind if I just stuck around and heard that from Ramona herself, huh?
My wife isn't feeling well. She's spending the day in her room, and I want you off the property as soon as possible. Like now.
Houston, the maid says Miss Landers is coming downstairs now.
Well, it's been nice talking to you, Mr. Harris.
Shit, I want you to leave.
I told you I read your book.
Houston, it's so lovely to see you again.
Ramona, you're looking Sue.
Oh, thank you. I'm just sorry it has to be under this tragic circumstances. My Molly, she's such an impetuous girl. She means very well, but I'm afraid that she's just wasted your time in asking you to come here.
Just seeing you, Ramona, makes it not a waste of time.
Is Molly going to join us?
No, she had to go on an errand. Excuse me, I don't think I know you.
Oh, I'm sorry. This is C.J. Parsons. She's my top lawyer and sort of all-around right-hand man. A woman.
Girl.
Girl.
Must be a wonderful person to have Houston put such trust in you. As I was saying, my husband and I have complete confidence in the police investigations.
Mind if I had a sip of that? It's a pretty stiff drink for this early in the day, isn't it?
He makes me. I'm so afraid.
Mona?
Oh, darling, there you are. Houston and I were just talking over old times.
Very tired, darling.
We were just talking.
I think it's time for you to go up to your room.
Now, come on. Surely you couldn't have any objections to a couple old friends just talking, could you?
Sweetheart.
I am a little tired. The strain of the last few days. J.D. always knows what's best. I do thank you both for coming.
Well, I'd like to say it's been a real pleasure, Mr. Harris, but the only problem is, I've never been much good at lying.
Now, Houston figured what was important was when that orange juice was poisoned. If it was before it was put on the table, then there could be a lot of suspects, like any nut who might have worked at the studio. That's only a couple of thousand.
Now, on the other hand, if it was after, it would have had to have been somebody who could have gotten close enough to that table without looking suspicious.
Meaning someone in the interview.
Right. Your favorite Dr. Chuckles.
J.D. Harris himself.
Right, Ramona's husband. We both know what his motive could be, and according to Molly, that's money and lots of it.
Bill Claudius, the, quote, boy wonder of directors, unquote. Miles Gantry owns a jewelry store on Rodeo Drive. Now, from what I could find out, he's completely financing Ramona's movie, some $5 million.
What do you say we pay a little visit to Mr. Gantry, huh?
Rodeo Drive is right in the heart of Beverly Hills. It's said that some of the most expensive shops in the world are found here. And when you're talking about a jewelry store like the one Miles Gantry runs, well, you're not talking about a store that you can just walk into and browse around. You have to make an appointment.
Beautiful Megan wearing diamonds that once had a war fought over them. Our theme for this month's specials is historic jewels in new and exciting settings. The whole ensemble was once $2,000,001. Now marked down to the incredible $1,000,003. Good afternoon. I'm Miles Gantry. May I be of some service?
Matt Houston, this is C.J. Parsons.
Oh, yes, you called about that dreadful incident yesterday. I don't know what I can tell you. It's terrible what happened to Todd Gallagher. You know, he was the type of young man that everyone liked. He was perfect for that role. Are the police making any progress in finding out who's trying to kill Ramona?
Well, Mr. Gantry, the police are working on lots of ideas, but I'm of the mind that the killer was someone close to Ramona. Probably at the news conference yesterday.
Oh, but that's impossible. There was just Bill, J.D., and myself. You certainly don't think that I love Ramona, and frankly, I resent your implication that I might want to do her harm. Adorable Audrey, wearing star sapphires from India, that were once paid for ransom by the Maharaja of Kanchipur.
Did you get the distinct feeling that Gantry is trying just a little too hard to sell us on how much he loves Ramona?
Yeah, a lot too hard. Just wish I could figure out a way to find out exactly what that man's really thinking.
CJ.
Hello. Hello.
Tell me, how are the Green Ducks?
Never better.
Green Duck?
Just an inside joke. I met Rick at a party a couple of weeks ago.
What party?
The one you weren't invited to, Houston. The one where I met Rick.
Well, what's he doing here?
He works here, Houston. He's the assistant manager. Now, listen, if you really want to find out what Miles Gantry is thinking, why don't I find out what Rick is doing for dinner tonight?
Yeah. Why don't you tell me about the Green Ducks?
Houston, haven't you ever seen a green duck?
No.
Then I guess you'll never understand.
CJ? Listen, would you mind a whole hell of a lot if we just got back to the original question? Now, do you know anybody who'd want to poison Ramona?
Like I told the police lieutenant, I haven't the faintest. I'm sorry. I really have to run.
Wait, police lieutenant?
Yeah, Italian fellow. Sort of a cross between Sly Stallone and Bobby De Niro. Name of,
Novelli.
That's it. The last time I saw him, he was headed for the Western Street.
Thanks a lot.
Let's try a walk.
Houston, what are you doing here?
Well, I'll tell you something, Vince. Apparently the same thing you're doing. Trying to find out who tried to kill Ramona Landers. She's a close friend of mine.
Why don't you go keep her company for a couple hours?
Any special reason?
Yeah, because that's how long it's going to take me to get my warrant. I got a witness that saw her husband put something in her orange juice.
Something besides vodka?
Better believe it. Something white, powdery, like maybe poison.
Save it for the cab. Cable's right over here.
Ramona! Marley!
Get an ambulance.
It's your husband.
Get an ambulance. How's he doing, Vince?
Still alive, but not by much.
Was he able to talk, say who shot him?
No, they don't even know if he's ever going to regain consciousness. Doesn't make any sense, Houston. It's all upside down. Just when we thought we had our killer, the killer almost kills him.
Yeah, I know.
How's Miss Landers taking it?
Well, she's scared, Vince. At least she says she is.
What is that supposed to mean?
Well, I'm not sure where Molly or Ramona were while the shooting was going on. I went in the house and I called out for both of them.
Well, they said that we're hiding and we're afraid to answer you.
I know that's what they said, but they also said Harris told them to stay in the house. The trouble is that neither Ramona or Molly know where the other one was during the shooting. I'm just not sure which one of them to believe anymore.
What do you mean?
You see, I had a conversation with Ramona this morning. She said Molly was on an errand. Wrong. I just talked to Molly, and she said Harris had her locked in her room and her mother knew about it all along.
Did you ask her mother about it?
Well, of course I did, and she denied the whole thing. See, she says Molly's been having problems, dreams, nightmares, and that kind of thing. She's been imagining things. Listen, I'm gonna have to run and meet CJ. I'll talk to you later. You ever heard of a green duck?
No. Right about now, that seems reasonable. Taste buds of a lizard in heat. Not lime juice, nor tequila. Lamar, you haven't been right since you bet on Jerry Cooney.
I don't believe what I'm seeing. What do you two think you're doing?
We're making the world's largest margarita.
Margarita? In there? Oh, no. This is Houston's private jacuzzi. If he ever finds out what you're doing, he'll kill you. Oh, no. He'll kill all of us. Houston, you have to understand, I knew nothing about this. I just arrived, and I am as shocked. Shocked, I say, as you are.
What are you fellas doing here?
Well, I delivered the chili to the plane going to San Antonio. We just always stop by for a little nip.
Needs more tequila.
You're all crazy. You know that. You're crazy.
No, he isn't, Murray. He does need more tequila. Come with me.
CJ, what is it?
I'm going to Mama Novelli's.
With the green ducks?
You want to find out about Miles Gantry? You get green ducks.
But CJ...
By the way, you're doing a wonderful job with those children. Are you enjoying yourself? Are you? And how's Miles doing? I'm so glad for you. By the way, you look so good. Oh, here it is. Good. Oh,
I'm sorry. I'm really sorry.
Oh,
Can I bring you some more spaghetti?
dear.
I don't need spaghetti.
How about some fish?
I don't like fish.
Well,
Can I buy
now
you dessert?
don't argue.
CJ, excuse me.
I understand. Not to worry. Everything is just fine. Dear, well.
CJ.
Houston? I should have known it was you.
What'd you find out?
Well, first of all, Miles Gantry lied to us. He hates Todd Gallagher as an actor as well as a human being.
Why'd you put him in his movie?
Because Bill Claudius wanted me in it. In fact, he insisted upon it. Now, I want you to fasten your seatbelt when I tell you this last piece of information.
Have anything to do with green ducks?
Houston, forget the green ducks. Now, according to my dinner partner, Gantry expects the movie to be a total disaster. Thinks Ramona is over the hill and thinks you might as well just strike a match and burn up the whole $5 million.
Why would a man sink $5 million into a movie when he knows it's going to be a bomb? Listen, I'll make phone calls. Mama, you know anything about green ducks?
Vergognati! I wash your mouth out with soap. You ought to be ashamed of yourself.
Why?
What do you want to know about green ducks?
Well, it's because of CJ.
Oh, my CJ's a good girl. She should know from green ducks. And don't you tell her, eh?
CJ was... told me about the green ducks.
Hello?
Molly, listen, I gotta ask you a question. You know that diamond necklace your mother was wearing this afternoon? Was that
real, or was it a copy made for security purposes?
Oh, definitely real. Mom doesn't like fake jewelry. She says only the real ones have any life.
That's what I thought. I'll talk to you later.
How could you do it to me?
Do what?
There's no need for a charade. I know all about the jewels. I know you've taken them from me. We are alone in the house. I arranged it that way to make it easier for you.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, come on, Miles. Who else could have done it? You have my jewels every year for cleaning. You certainly have the expertise to make replicas. It's okay, it's just us, you can tell me.
What are you saying?
As an old friend, I wanted to make it easier for you to do what you've been trying to do for the past few days. Kill me.
Oh, Ramona,
Can't you
please.
see it doesn't matter? I have nothing to live for. A husband who doesn't love me anymore, my youth gone, my wealth gone. I'm sure you had good reason for stealing from me.
Oh, Ramona, for God's sake, stop it. I never tried to kill you. Yes, I took your jewelry, but murder.
Well, I don't guess we can make the murder rap stick, but we can settle for grand theft. Where I come from, $20 million worth of jewelry is very grand.
Yes, I took Ramona's jewels and replaced them with imitations over the past few years. But I also have receipts to show that I paid for every one of them.
That's a lie. I'd never sell my jewels.
No, you wouldn't. But your husband would. Oh, Ramona, he had to. He started selling me the gems just to keep this house going. Then in the last few years, when you started drinking heavier and heavier, he was afraid you'd have another nervous breakdown. He thought a movie offer would bring you out of your depression. But there were no movie offers. So he created one. Sold off the last of your jewels. Gave the money back to me so I could finance your comeback.
I don't believe you. I'm not going to stay here and listen to this.
Oh, yes, you will listen. You know, there's an ugly rumor around town, Ramona, that you may have put the poison in your own drink rather than risk a comeback.
What? That's crazy.
Is it, Ramona? Is it really?
Houston, it is 6 a.m. You have been soaking all night, and we're not getting any closer.
I know it, CJ. That's because this is Hollywood. You see, nothing's real in Hollywood. It's all fake. The diamonds were fake. Gantry was fake. This whole town is based on illusions. It's not what you see, but what you think you see. Just illusion. Wait a minute. Illusion. CJ. Maybe that's what this whole thing is about. CJ, let me ask you a question. Who's dead?
I am. Houston, if my brain is ever gonna work again.
No, CJ, I'll tell you who's dead, and that's Todd Gallagher. You put up that interview tape we were looking at before. If I'm not mistaken, he said something just before he died.
Oh. Stay there.
Incestuous murderous damn dame. Must be talking about Ramona.
No, he didn't say dame as in woman. He said Dane as in Denmark.
Oh, that sure clears it up.
CJ just might have it that. If Todd Gallagher was the intended victim, CJ, I want you to get all the history you can on Todd Gallagher. He may have just told us who his killer was. Hello, Vince.
Houston, what are you doing here?
Probably the same thing you're doing, just trying to follow up a lead.
Go home. Clip coupons. It's a waste of time. Just another burglary. Headquarters tried to tie Gallagher's name with Ramona Landers. No connection.
You know as well as I do, when a prominent person dies, a lot of second-story guys come out of the woodwork.
Usually, while the funeral's going on.
Oh, did they get anything of value?
Who knows? The only person here is the maid. She doesn't speak English. See you later.
All right. Buenos dias. Me llamo Matt Houston. ¿Se habla usted inglés? ¿Se habla usted anything? Habla usted Ben Franklin?
What do you want to know, cowboy?
That's what I thought. Tell you, I need some information. Did Mr. Gallagher have a special place where he'd hide special things like a safe or anything like that?
Oh, see, a very secret place.
Good. Yeah.
Sígame. Aquí. Underneath the arches.
Super.
Are you hungry? Would you like some hot coffee and toast?
I'd love some. Why don't you make mine black? Know something? You're turning out to be a very expensive date, senor.
Señorita.
No comprende. CJ, what'd you get?
The information you wanted on Todd Gallagher? About 8 years ago, when our friend was in college, he did appear in a production of Hamlet.
Yeah, let me guess. He played the role of Hamlet.
Houston, if you knew all this, why did I bother?
See, that's what I'm getting to. See, at the end of the play, the king poisons Hamlet. He's also killed his father. And he marries his mother, then he kills her off, too.
They talk about violence on television.
Anyway, he attacks the king, saying, incestuous, murderous, damn dame.
Oh, terrific. Now all we have to do is find out who the king is.
I think we just have. Why don't you come on out of there?
Houston, nice to see you again. What can I do for you today?
Well, I found what you missed at Gallagher's place. Your press clippings from Leland College.
I'm not sure I know what you're talking about.
Well, I think you do. See, it was an 8-year-old newspaper story about a drama student who killed his brother and then disappeared. He was a real bright kid. See, he used to act and direct in all the campus productions. The night his brother was killed, he played the murdering king in Hamlet.
Well, it would appear my career in Hollywood is over. Actually, I was getting rather bored with it anyway.
Why don't you tell me what kind of a man can kill his brother and then assume the name of Claudius, the murdering king in Hamlet?
A clever one, yes?
Then you made your way out here, made a real success for yourself. Then Todd Gallagher showed up. He recognized you from college. He blackmailed you into using him in all your movies.
It really wouldn't have been so bad had he been a better actor.
Then you found a way to get rid of him, didn't you? You knew how upset he was about playing opposite Ramona. You told him the only way to get rid of her was to humiliate her publicly. You put the poison in Ramona's glass, but only when you were sure Todd Gallagher was gonna drink from it.
Hang in there.
You stupid jerk! Can't you see we're on a take? Cut!
Hey, go back! Go back!
Not real! None of it's real! Oh!
Could have been killed.
Huh?
The car.
The car.
About a week after Houston almost exploded himself into movie history, J.D. Harris was released from the hospital. And he explained that the white powdery substance he was lacing Ramona's drinks with were in fact multivitamins to keep her strength up. And Ramona, finding out how much her husband really loved her, well, she seemed to be getting better herself. But the news that has Houston all excited today is that he found out he won the chili contest. And his prize horse was already here. Oh yeah, the bad news. I'm afraid that's what Bo and Lamar are about to spring on him.
My horse. He's here. He's in there, isn't he?
Well, yeah, but,
But what?
well, it's nothing, Houston. It was just kind of good news and bad news. Like, you remember we had that rain last night?
Wait a minute, don't... He didn't take sick, did he?
Oh, no, nothing like that. It's just that, well, he kind of, shrunk. Yeah.
You. Yeah. Is he housebroke?
Well, he ain't caused us no problem yet.
Good. Oh, look at you.
I don't think we ought to be here.
Oh, come on, Sam. I've waited 7 years for this. I intend to savor every second of it.
Drive around to the side, Peters.
Why all the secrecy, Goody?
Listen carefully to it. It all has to do with the element of surprise. If Pierre Sedan had the slightest inclination that J. Hamilton Goodfellow...
World-famous gourmet and critic par excellence.
were about to critique his highly overpriced eatery. Well, let me put it in simpler terms, Twig. Did Cain send Abel a Western Union death threat? Did Delilah sharpen her scissors in the presence of Samson?
Never mind, Peters. Quietly.
Welcome. How nice of you to grace my restaurant.
Oh, stop smiling like a dyspeptic cobra, you handsome frog. You ruined my surprise attack. By the way, have you seen my junior partner? Maybe he's supposed to meet me in the alley. Being great. Oh, succulent. Oh, provocative. Ambrosio.
I thought you'd like to see this advance copy. It shows Mr. Marsden presenting you with our Restaurant of the Year award.
Wonderful.
Oh, come on, Pierre, get the lad out, will you? I mean, kindly show me to my table, post-haste.
Of course, please.
So wonderful. Oh, Pierre, you are a devil. Your food is the death of me yet. Your crepes, your soufflés, your canard l'orange. I must have them all tonight. A gastronomical orgy. Yeah, what in heaven's name is that monstrosity?
Don't you know? You sent it.
Me? Ridiculous. It looks like something left over from a scrap iron convention.
It's supposed to be a gelatin mold, according to the young man who delivered it. And they said it was for you.
For me? A gelatin mold the size of Mount Rushmore for me. What am I supposed to do with it? Feed the Mormon Tabernacle Choir? Well, let's have a look.
It's Mr. Marston!
Somebody's murdered my partner.
Now, this phone is supposed to be for emergencies only. Now, listen, I have complete trust in you. Now, if you have to make these executive decisions, I mean, why don't you go ahead? I trust your judgment. Now, if you think Houston Industries really needs to switch over from manual pencil sharpeners to electric ones, then why don't you go ahead and do it? Now, how'd you get this phone number? I don't even have it myself yet. Murray, I told you 1,000 times there's no business out here at the ranch. Goodbye. Now, I'm real sorry, Kelly. What was it you were saying?
Don't. Repeat, don't lock down the throttle.
No, I won't. No, I'll throttle.
Okay, Houston. How about a little bet? Maybe just a little 10 spot? Well, of course, unless you don't want to race a girl.
Lamar, that's a pretty chauvinistic remark.
Houston, why put your money where your chauvinistic is? Unless you're afraid.
You're on to the house. $10.
Then let's go.
All right.
On your mark. Get set.
Hey, you can't! Houston, you come back here and stop me!
Houston, you lost the throttle!
Don't lock off the throttle. Don't lock off the throttle.
If there was anything Houston hated more than getting his boots wet, it was the news that his friend Prince Polanski, the famous restaurateur, had been arrested for the gelatin mold murder of Roger Marsden. So, after he changed his boots and his attitude, we headed for the Prince's restaurant to find out why Novelli had arrested him.
Well, I'll collect the information on those people closest to the victim, like you asked. But the case against the Prince is...
Hello, Vince. How's it going this morning?
Sorry, Houston. I heard you and the Prince were friends. I think we just found the murder weapon inside.
Brian, what might that be?
A very large gelatin mold. Still had traces of orange gelatin in it.
Well, Vince, there must be hundreds of those around town.
Made in Russia, 1937.
Oh.
Russia, 1937. How'd you figure that out?
Modern scientific technique. Turned the mold upside down, rubber was on the bottom.
Yeah, well, Vince, listen, I'm sure the Prince has an ironclad alibi.
Your client was home, alone, and asleep.
Well, in that case, his alibi is liable to end up in the Guinness Book of Records as the weakest one since Benedict Arnold flunked his polygraph.
Yeah, Vince, I mean, the man's a widower. You want to see him at the White House, tap dancing at a press conference?
Houston, you better scoot your boots or it's going to be arraignment time.
Oh, that's right. Listen, would you give C.J. a lift back to the office? C.J., warm up, baby, and get started on the information. I'll take care of His Highness.
That's American justice, eh? American justice. First, I'm arrested for a crime I didn't commit. Second, I gotta put a fourth mortgage on my restaurant so I could pay you back for the bail that I had to put up for that. And on top of that, me, a prince of royalty, I have to put up bail while the legitimate criminals with our list down to here, they go out free on their own recognizance.
Recognizance,
whatever it is.
Listen, Prince, now you got to explain to me a little more about this gelatin mold that Novelli found in your restaurant. I mean, that's pretty incriminating stuff.
What's the matter with you? I'm a world-class restaurateur. I, Prince Sergei Peter Ilyich Polensky. I am not running a cafeteria. I never used such a mold, and I would never use orange gelatin.
Yeah, well, listen, somebody used it, Prince, and they stuck it in your kitchen. Now, have you got any idea who'd want to frame you?
Of course. The murderers. Wait. Wait a minute. Do you know why the judge made that bail so high? He was afraid I was going to run back to Russia.
Come on, Prince. You know who you're talking to here. This is little Matlock, you know? I mean, the kid you used to let lick the cake bowls when you were making the cake. The kid you used to tell stories to, you know? The kid you taught the importance of being free.
You know, I owe all that to your father. You know, when I came to this country, I was nothing but a Russian peasant with a dream of a Statue of Liberty in a void called freedom. But your father, he sponsored me for my American citizenship. I'll never forget that, never.
Yeah, well, he did say of all his investments, you were his biggest dividend.
It's a fancy way of saying I was the family cook, huh?
Yeah. Listen, Prince, now, we got to get back at this thing because it's really bothering me. Now, do you have any idea of anybody who'd want to see you take the fall for Marston's death?
Any restaurateur in town, they always looking to knock off the champ, right? And I'm the champ. I was the champ, till they ruined me.
Yeah, well, they, meaning Marston and his partner, Jay Hamilton Goodfellow.
Who else?
Yeah, well, listen, the police told me that you threatened to kill both of them.
And they deserved it. They ruined me. For what? They don't know the difference between a plate of borscht and a banana.
Now, the question is, who besides a prince would want to see Marston dead? Now, who we got?
Well, the names and numbers of the first-string players, the people closest to Marsden, starting with his partner. Goodfellow, Jay Hamilton. The J doesn't stand for anything. He gave it to himself as a present in order to be different. He was born in New York, the Bronx, 1930. Then he moved to Hollywood, where he majored in affectation.
He could have minored in murder also. You see, partners have a way of falling out.
You bet. Now, that's Terry Anton, Goodfellow's constant companion, and maybe a little more.
Nice hors d'oeuvre.
Pierre Sardin, former French decathlon champ, soccer star extraordinaire, Marston's best friend, and the owner of the restaurant where the body turned up.
Listen, any idea on who made the delivery yet?
Well, nothing that's really going to help us. It's a regular delivery service. Apparently, they got a call late in the afternoon to deliver from the Prince's to Chez Pierre.
Well, who made the call?
Well, this is the part you're not going to like. Apparently, it was a man with an accent who called himself the Prince.
Oh, swell. Who's next?
Kate Riley. She's the producer-director of Marsden and Goodfellow's television show. Most importantly, she's Marsden's ex-wife.
Ex-wife as in bitter divorce?
As in cat and dog fight. From what I could find out, this divorce gives a new meaning to the word nasty.
Well, that's a good reason for murder.
Now, this is Kate's brother, Sam, who is very loyal, very protective, and according to his past record, very dangerous. Well, you got a lot of candidates. Where do you want to start?
Well, I think we ought to start with Mr. Goodfellow, Jay Hamilton. Listen, CJ, keep digging and see what you can come up with on Marston's will. I'd like to know exactly how that man decided to slice up the pie, you know what I mean?
With any luck, a la mode.
Promo's almost over.
All right, stand by. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Ladies and gentlemen, I hadn't planned to say what I'm about to say. This is strictly impromptu. In closing, during this first show without my dear friend and partner, Roger Marsden, leaves me feeling like a chocolate without the mousse, crepe without Suzette, Vichy without the Soise. It's lonely here without Roger. We shall do our best to carry on in the high standards you set for all of us. Until we meet in that great restaurant in the sky. Good night and bon appetit. Roger.
And cut. That's a wrap. We're in the wrong location, boys.
Don't you touch that, you cretin. Can't you see I'm famished? I'm going to finish every last tender morsel.
Maybe you should come back later. Mr. Goodfellow hates to be disturbed while he's eating. It has to do with the, digestive juices or something.
Well, I wouldn't worry about it too much, miss. I don't think there's much I could say to him that's going to put him off his feed.
Excuse me. I have to finish typing Goody's newspaper column.
Right, listen, could I ask you a question?
All right.
Okay, is it Roger Marsden and yourself? Now, how did you two get along?
My typing. I really have to get back to it.
Yeah, but... Oh, Miss Riley. Miss Riley, excuse me. My name's Matt Houston.
Of course it is. Bernie, get the lead out. We've got a flower show to cover.
Listen, I wondered if I might ask you a couple questions about your late husband and how he died.
Not soon enough, that's how. Should have happened years ago. Excuse me, please.
But I really did,
Kate's busy. She hasn't time for you now.
Listen, partner, maybe your owner ought to tell you about the new leash law. Now, why don't you take your hand off my shoulder? Mr. Goodfellow.
If you're collecting for some charity, I didn't give it the office, and I never give it home.
Fine. Listen, my name's Matt Houston, and I'm a private detective.
Boots. Worse than that, cowboy boots. I hope you didn't tether your trusty steed on my front lawn. It's prize-winning dichondra, and when it needs fertilizer, my gardener gets it through legal channels.
Listen, I'm representing Prince Polanski.
My condolences. The man is guilty of sin.
Well, I don't really believe that, and I was hoping I could get a little cooperation from you.
Sorry, Sundance. Since my partner died, my workload has doubled, and I have no time to play Starsky and Hutch with you.
Mr. Goodfellow, you really should have told me. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
Stop. What are you doing? It's not my birthday.
Oh, but the delivery man insisted that it was.
Where are you going with my cake?
Get out! Ah!
You ruined my birthday cake!
Well, I thought it was a bomb. I mean, you're the one that told me it wasn't your birthday.
Well, it isn't, but I love birthday cake, especially the frosting. I wonder who sent it.
Oh, this came with it.
Oh, may I? Thank you. If you like Marsden gelatin, you're gonna love Goodfellow Under Glass. It's unsigned. Appears to be a death threat, Mr. Goodfellow.
It's ridiculous. It's just a silly prank. Don't you think? Well, I suppose it could. Perhaps I will cooperate with you in exchange for protection.
You got it. All the protection you need if you tell me everything you know.
Prince about that exploding cake?
Well, because I had a taste of what was left of it, and there's only one person I know of who uses burnt almond mandalay in his cakes, and he's it. He's famous for it.
Mandalay like in Burma?
Yeah. Yeah, see, it's very rare, very expensive, and hard to come by. We used to go crazy over it when we were kids.
Well, Houston, if he's famous for it, whoever's trying to make the prince look guilty would be sure to use burnt almond mandalay, too.
Yeah, well, that's what I thought, but I'll tell you something else. That Kate Riley sure got away from me in a hurry a while back.
For that matter, J. Hamilton Goodfellow could have sent it himself.
You're looking for the prince, forget it. Went into exile, he skipped.
When?
Probably right after he tried to transport J. Hamilton Goodfellow to the Never Never Land with that trick birthday cake.
So you heard about that, huh?
Yeah. My ears are still vibrating. Let's say that Goodfellow is not exactly crazy about being murdered.
Any idea where he might have skipped to?
Probably halfway to Moscow by now. If Interpol doesn't catch up with him, you're going to be out a lot of pocket money, Houston.
Now, Vince, it's not the money I'm concerned with. I know that man.
Sorry, Houston. I think you're back to loser this time.
Vince, you... Boy.
I wish all of my customers were so discerning of taste and so beautiful.
Thank you, Pierre.
Listen, Pierre, I hate to interrupt business with pleasure, but I need to ask you a couple questions. Now, have you got any idea why you inherited the corpse?
None whatsoever. That kind of publicity I don't need.
Well, look, any idea who killed Roger Marsden?
The mystery, if indeed there is one, doesn't seem to be so deep, from what I've read and heard.
Yeah, I see. So you're nominating the prince, huh?
Oh, no. I don't want to knock Polanski. He's a competitor.
He was a competitor.
This business runs in cycles. The prince had his day in the sun. Today it's my turn. Tomorrow, who knows? I owe my current success to the late Mr. Marsden and his partner, Mr. Goodfellow. Rave reviews placed Chez Pierre where it is today.
The night Roger Marsden was found dead in here, you had a couple of customers. It was Kate Riley and her brother. Now, have they ever eaten in here before?
In the 4 years we've been open, never before.
I see. Well, that brings me to another question. Now, if you...
It certainly does. Why is this the wrong year? I ordered a 62. Please excuse me.
But,
Something's bothering you.
It's not the wine, either.
I'll bet it's the fact that Kate Riley and her brother come to this restaurant for the first time, and they find her ex-husband in a gelatin mold.
Yeah, and Pierre was real anxious to tell us about it.
Now, I suggest you first start with the kiwi tarts. They're marvelous. Then go to the apricot tarts. Then try the orange cake. Graduate to the chocolate cake. Go to the berries and that wonderful pyramid of puffs. And then lime cake. And then, oh, look at that number over there. As a matter of fact, you can have anything you want. Have anything on the table, except the candles, of course.
Murray, what in the name of Too Tall Jones is going on here?
It's him. The man who came to dinner really came. See for yourself.
Oh, hello, Sundance. Welcome. Come right in. Make yourself at home. Is this Mrs. Sundance?
No, they call me Butch. That's because my mom addresses me so funny.
Excuse me, Mr. Goodfellow. This might be a silly question, but what the hell's going on here?
Well, it must be perfectly obvious. You now have J. Hamilton Goodfellow as your own personal guest.
Well, how'd they get so all-fired lucky?
Elementary, my dear Sundance. After all, you did promise me protection after my birthday cake went that-a-way, remember?
Yes, I do. I do remember something about protection.
Houston probably means police protection. That's right. Put you in a very interesting cell where nobody can get to you.
What, you got rocks in your head or something? Me in a cell? What, are you crazy?
Oh, I don't think it'll be all that bad, Mr. Goodfellow.
I would soon starve to death. I would starve to death. Never mind. Never mind. I'll just walk out of here with no protection. I'll get out on the streets and make it simple for Prince Polanski, whom you got out of jail, to kill me. Please don't feel any guilt when you attend my funeral. Far be it from me to ever say that my death is on your head.
Oh, don't do it, Houston. This is a place of business. America.
Besides, we don't have a bedroom.
You certainly do. I took the liberty of having a cot and certain other amenities moved into somebody's office. I think they said his name was C.J.
Him is a her. C.J. is me.
I do wish you would stop changing your name, young lady. Well, never mind. I'll try not to mark your walls when I hang my paintings. And you'll find me an exceptionally charming guest. You'll love me. Trust me. Now, it's time for my beauty rest. Come along, darling. Time for our beauty rest. Ta. Grab the strawberry one.
Houston, for you?
Mrs. Houston, where are you? Will you stay put until I get there, all right? Where's the prince? He wants to see me alone.
Come, my sweetheart. That's it, darling. Come. Hey, come. I got popcorn for you. Oh, yes. I got all kinds of popcorn. I put special butter on, and then I put on a little garlic salt so it'll taste good. Okay. Now take all the popcorn you want. Now, be very careful. I got a lot of butter on there and garlic salt, so don't bleed on each other. All right? Go ahead. Have fun. Oh, Matlick, I'm glad you came.
Well, I had to protect my investment, now, didn't I?
Oh, look, the bail money, I'll pay you back.
No, not the bail money. My investment in an old friend, Prince. Why'd you skip out?
Well, it's obvious, no? Huh? That Commissar Novelli, he's got an ironclad case against me, huh?
Yeah, now it's very ironclad. I mean, with that stupid cake bet, not to mention the card.
I just thought maybe I'd smoke him out, you know?
Well, what was the cake supposed to do? Blow him out?
Look, I didn't know what I was doing. Anyway, what's the difference? I mean, you were there, a great detective like you knew what to do right away. And besides, there was no danger, no?
Danger? No danger? You didn't see that shed go up. Now, Novelli is going to consider this attempted murder.
Oh, no. Look, not like I was just trying to help, that's all.
That's fine, Prince. Now, would you do me a favor? Just tell me why you went after Goodfellow. I mean, do you really think he killed Marston?
I don't know what I think. I'm confused. I'm scared. I'm scared, Matt.
You and me have been friends for an awful long time, you know? Now, you got to trust me a little bit now. We'll get this thing worked out. Now, you got to give me 1 hour with Novelli so I can sell him on the truth. Now, you meet us at Mama Novelli's restaurant, all right? Huh? Good night.
Houston, if it wasn't him shooting at you, who was it? If Polanski walks in here, I've got to bust him.
No, you don't have to bust him. You can help me set a trap. You see, then the real killer will step right into that trap.
What if the prince walks into it?
Oh, sta tranquilo, he won't. I give you my personal guarantee.
I mean, you don't even know the prince.
Sure I know him. Television, magazines, newspapers. Sure, he's a celebrity. And a macho celebrity. Uh-huh.
Vince, listen, whoever walks into the trap, he's all yours. Is that fair enough?
I don't know.
Well, of course you don't know. See, that's the whole point. That's why we have to exhaust every possibility we've got.
Yeah, well, there is some new evidence I got to ask him about.
Go ahead and ask.
Saverio, welcome. Welcome to my humble restaurant, Your Royal Highness.
Thank you, Mrs. Novelli.
Oh, call me Rosa, like in Rosa the Widow, for 15 years.
That kind of Rosa, huh? Yeah.
Listen, Prince, you remember the zoo, the shooting? What happened? I was looking for you.
I ran, and somebody was shooting at me, and I didn't even turn around to look. I mean, I don't know who I'm running away from anymore. I mean, is it Marsden's murderers or the police? Or who am I? Everybody's running after me.
I should read you your rights, but first I have to ask you a question.
Go ahead, ask anything.
4 days before Marsden's death, you received a very large quantity of orange gelatin, enough to float McHale's Navy.
Is that true?
8 cases. 8 cases orange gelatin. I didn't want it. I want to send it back, and the driver said, no, it's already prepaid. And that night, somebody came in and stole it.
And you didn't file a police report?
I thought it was a joke. I mean, 8 cases orange gelatin, what am I going to do with it? No, I didn't call the police. What for?
Excuse me, Mr. Houston, there's a phone call for you.
Guido. Excuse me, please.
Vicenzino, credilo. Listen to the prince. His Highness is an honest man.
Thank you, Mrs. Novella.
Actually, it's been 15.5 years, eh?
Rosa.
Houston. Hello, CJ. Double indemnity?
You got it. They may have been divorced, but Kate Riley stands to get $400,000 from Marston's insurance.
And maybe it's about time I catch up to that busy lady, huh?
Come on, ladies, keep up the pace. We've only got 3 miles to go. Keep your knees up.
I hope he's honking for me.
Go, let's burn off some calories.
Miss Riley!
Yeah, we almost met the other day at Goodfellow's place.
Oh, yeah. Roy Rogers.
But no, it's Matt Houston. And I'll tell you, I'm still investigating the death of your ex-husband. You were at Chez Pierre the night that your ex-husband was found dead. Now, how come you showed up there?
When I got home, there was a message on my answering service. It was from Roger. He said if I met him at Chez Pierre that night, he would give me all my back alimony.
Well, did you believe him?
But I figured what I have to lose.
Did you kill him, Kate?
Roger Marsden committed suicide. That no-good scum made so many enemies. Somebody had to kill him. Did I kill him? No. But there were times I sure would have liked to.
Bud Spellman, newsroom, please. Thank you. Yeah, Vince, how's the prince doing?
It's driving me nuts. I signed my best man to tail and play bodyguard. Polanski tries to lose him.
Well, Vince, now the time for action is now. Now, you agreed to help me set this trap, and I'm gonna be the bait, all right?
Would it matter if I said no?
Well, yeah, but you're not gonna say no, are you, Vince? Yeah, Bud, yeah, this is Matt Houston. Listen, partner, I need a favor from you. Yeah, I need you to announce on your afternoon news broadcast that I'm going to name Roger Marsden's killer on J. Hamilton Goodfellow's television program today. You do that? Appreciate it, Pard. I owe you one. Thank you.
Hey, Houston, anybody ever accuse you of not playing with a full deck?
Mm-hmm. Oh, it's revolting. It's awful. Positively terrible. Well, worst television script I've ever read.
Who wrote it?
I did. Not that I can't write. I'm brilliant. But rusty. My partner used to handle this sort of thing.
Maybe you'd be more comfortable in more familiar surroundings, like at home.
Sorry, Butch. I'm camping out in your office until this sordid situation ends. What now, Mr. Pinchpenny?
More unpaid bills from more caterers? How dare you charge all this to Mr. Houston?
Very well. Henceforth, I shall charge them to you. My pedal. Oh, yes, a big tip for you. Here we go, Pinchpenny.
I don't believe it.
Now, hush. This is my favorite tune.
Yeah, I'm working on it, CJ. I just haven't found a crane that'll reach the penthouse.
Come along, Sundance. Grab a belly dancer and join me.
Listen, no, I really don't have time for that, but I tell you what, I would like to talk to you about your television show.
Don't. Tell me you write scripts, too? If so, I'm in dire need of your services.
Well, not really, but I tell you, I do have an idea. Now, it's a slightly different format, but I think you'll enjoy it. If I'm right, it's going to catch us a killer.
Okay, we'll open on a loose two-shot, then come in for a single on Goodfellow.
Matlock, you sure you know who the killer is?
Well, let's just say I'm hoping that he or she is going to tip his or her hand.
You know, Matlock, sometimes you talk funnier than I do. At least I have a reason. I'm mad. You see him standing there so confident and cocky and sure of himself?
You got to admit, Prince, he's got the #1 restaurant in town.
I don't know why the critics, they turned against me. They ruined my restaurant. For what? I mean, they heaped all the praise on him. I mean, he couldn't have got better publicity if he paid for it. I mean it.
Don't worry about it, Prince. We'll take care of it.
Yeah.
I'll see you at the restaurant today, all right? All right, bye-bye.
Well, I really didn't expect to see you here, Pierre.
Oh, why not? Roger was my best friend. When I heard you were going to reveal the killer, I wanted to be here.
I hope I don't disappoint you.
Hope you know what you're doing, Houston.
I hope you know what you're doing, Novelli.
I got more cops in the area than Take-Two Video's got technicians.
Frankly, I think this whole charade is a complete exercise in futility.
A little more curl. I mean, no self-respecting killer is going to murder anyone in broad daylight, knowing full well that this place will be crawling with fuzzies. Or you still call piggies?
Looks like an apple in your mouth.
How dare he?
Mr. Houston, I hope you're a big hit on the show, telling the world who the killer is. We can use the ratings.
As well as a competent producer, director.
Quiet, Pac-Man. This is my domain.
I've just had the most awful thought. I do hope that the killer is a good shot. Otherwise, he might miss Houston and hit me.
Now, would you get your exalted buns over here before this producer-director makes you a falling star?
Sit on it, Kate! Oh, woman is so exasperating.
Hold it, Houston. We gotta get a mic on you. Harry!
Houston's plan to be the bait worked all right. Unfortunately, a knife showed up, but the fish didn't. So it was back to the drawing board, only we didn't have one. As a matter of fact, we didn't even have our fearless leader.
Oh, these are terrible. Positively revolting.
Thank you, my sweetness.
Tell that alleged photographer that this food layout is supposed to make my readers salivate, not regurgitate. Burn them, my darling.
If somebody doesn't do something about him, he is going to fly the London Symphony in here for high tea.
Murray, I've done all I can do. Asking him to leave is like telling Sylvester Stallone not to make Rocky IV.
Houston, where have you been? We have been looking everywhere for you.
Well, I've been down to City Hall following up a hunch. Yeah, oh, listen, I think I know who the killer is.
You know who killed Marsden?
Well, I think so, but now all I have to do is prove it. But anyway, CJ, I'll explain all that at the first annual Matt Houston Crime Busters picnic. Well, Japanese, huh? Listen, Mr. Goodfellow, now, when are you gonna taste some of my food? You know, that down-home Texas chili with all those Mexican jalapenos floating around in the pot?
Only when life becomes so unbearable will I be forced to commit hara-kiri. Nothing personal, Sundance.
Actually, I wanted to thank you for your most generous hospitality.
Oh, you forget it. I mean, it's nothing any ordinary Texas fool wouldn't do for a total stranger. Listen, I'll see you at the picnic, all right?
Picnic? What picnic?
Oh, boy, ladies, that looks good. Looks like you've done it again for me. Thank you. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to hold up on dinner for just a few minutes because I figured we'd all enjoy the food a lot more when we find out who killed Roger Marston.
Then you know the killer's identity?
Yeah, well, I tell you, I figured we'd just sort of kick back and examine the facts, cover a little ground, and see what we come up with. Now, that brings us to number one, the good Prince Polanski, who our lieutenant, Lieutenant Novelli, has arrested for Marsden's murder. Now, the lieutenant and I have this problem. See, we really don't think that the Prince did it because I'll tell you something very honestly. If you're going to kill somebody, you don't threaten them publicly. No, sir, you don't. And that brings us to number two, which happens to be Kate and Sam Riley. Now, they're both very good suspects with very good motives, but we can rule them out also.
Airtight alibis.
Yeah, that's right, airtight alibi. You see, you were both present the night that Roger Marston's body was unveiled in the restaurant. But we did discover that you'd just flown in from Detroit 2 hours earlier, so you really didn't have a chance to kill a man. And that brings us to number three. And that's the lovely Terry Ant. And you love your employer very much, don't you?
We're engaged.
That's right. And it gives you a very good motive for murder, doesn't it? Would you like to explain a little bit about that?
I hated Roger Marston because of what he did to Goody. It was Goody's idea to set up the partnership. And then Roger took over completely. He made Goody do everything that he said. Oh, I hated Roger Marston. But I didn't kill him. Honest.
Then it was Marsden that wanted me out of the business, not you.
No, I never did. I adored your food.
That's right. So Terry didn't kill Marston. Besides, he's really not strong enough to kill a man and lug that big body around. No, that really wouldn't work out. So that brings us over here to good old Pierre, Lucky Pierre, I like to call him. Now, what would you think his reason for killing Marston would be?
Me? Oh, that's ridiculous. I love Roger. Everything I am, I owe to Roger. My restaurant, everything.
That's right, everything and a whole lot more, including a lot of things that a lot of people didn't know anything about, like Mr. Goodfellow. You see, Marston was running a shakedown racket.
That's preposterous.
Is it really? You see, it takes me back to the day of the television taping. It was something that the Prince said. Yeah, he said Pierre couldn't have gotten better reviews if he paid for them.
6 restaurant owners confirmed it. Marsden traded good reviews for cash.
Marsden got 30% of your restaurant in exchange for destroying the Prince and making your restaurant the #1 restaurant in all of Southern California. CJ, the envelope, please. Thank you. See, right here in this envelope is an official document all the way from City Hall, and it's proof that you and Roger Marston were partners.
So, I made Roger a partner. That's not against the law.
No, not really, but I tell you what, you got awful tired of giving 30 cents of every dollar you made to Marston. And that's when you killed him.
Houston, that's ridiculous. And, I'll prove it. I'll prove it to you!
I'll be right back.
I'm warning you, if Houston should happen to catch
Relax,
you...
Lamar. I done told you, Houston. And that ain't your mark. You can't be running off like that. What is going on?
I'll explain later, fellas.
Don't lock the throttle!
this man a check.
That's 3,612 to 3,606.
Over here, boys.
This tournament's still got 4 months to go.
Well, I'll be. I thought a little refreshment might be nice on a hot, dusty day.
Yeah, CJ, what is it?
What is what?
Well, now, I know you didn't drive all the way out here just to play Mrs. Santa Claus. Now, you got something on your mind. Why don't you tell me what it is?
Well, as a matter of fact, Houston, now that you mention it, there is something digging at me. You knew deep down that the prince was innocent all along. How come?
Well, I'll tell you, CJ, it's really quite simple. Now, ever since I've been knee-high to a grasshopper, the prince has meant a whole lot to me and my family. Not only was he Daddy's favorite cook, he taught me a very important lesson in life, and that's the cowboy code.
The cowboy code? Is that anything like the Dallas Cowboys?
Wash your mouth out, girl. Don't you know nothing?
Oh, that just goes to show how ignorant a college graduate can get.
Save me, Houston. What is the cowboy code?
Well, CJ, I think the prince found it in an old Western movie because, you see, that's what he thought America was all about at that point in time. It goes something like this. Never shoot first, never hit a smaller man, and never take an unfair advantage.
And never go back on your word.
Be kind to kids, elders, and animals.
And don't harbor no religious nor racial intolerance.
That's right. And most important of all, cowboy is a patriot.
That's kind of nice.
I like it.
So that's how you knew the prince wasn't guilty.
Well, that and the fact that he never could make gelatin.
take one. I love fortune cookies.
Come on, what does it say?
It says, don't go in the water.
Then maybe you shouldn't. I'm gonna punch your lights
Bill,
out.
don't. You think I'm afraid to go in the water just because one female lifeguard happened to be killed by a shark?
Did I say that to
Look,
her?
what happened to Kelly was bad luck. But you don't scare me. I'll show you.
Em, you don't have to do that. Oh, so you're the one that's afraid of the water.
All right, come on, get off. You're not Lewis and you're not Dempsey.
Here goes. What is our little nature girl trying to prove now?
I guess what we all want to believe. Death and bad luck only happened with the other guy.
Houston! I'm so glad you're finally here. I have got papers that you have got to sign. Plus, we have to make a decision about your pork belly holdings. Then there's some real estate in Utah. There are people that want to buy, but I just don't know if this is the right time. And of course...
Nice evening. Might we make it two in a row?
Well, I believe we can do that.
Houston! I need you.
Oh, no, not as badly as I do. No, look, I've got the LVF people in the boardroom now, and they're ready to sell.
Yeah, see, Murray found this nifty little company, and
Is it more important than your friend who's in my office? It's Alan Lander. She's hurting real bad.
It's like I said, LVF people can wait.
Yeah, listen, Murray, I tell you what. Now, it's a good company. You look at all the numbers and see what you think. Now, if you are absolutely certain, I want you to go right ahead and do nothing until you talk to me first.
Thank you, Houston.
Oh, Mr. Houston, am I relieved to see you?
Alice, it's so good to see you again.
You were so sweet to take the time. Did Miss Parsons tell you?
Well, she started to explain over the radio, but I think my ears were plugged because it sounded a little bit like a shark committing murder, and
Your ears are fine.
I know it sounds crazy on the surface, but, well, let me start at the beginning. You remember my daughter, Sue?
Well, how could I forget her? She was the cutest little girl I ever met. She must be at least
19.
19.
Yes, and she's not so little anymore, is she?
No, listen.
That was taken 3 weeks after she was certified as a lifeguard.
Yet, if I'm not mistaken, I'll bet you $1 there's been an increase in young men needing to be saved since she took the job.
Mr. Houston, I'm fully convinced that my daughter's going to be murdered.
By a shark?
Yes.
Yeah, I tell you what, I'm in desperate need of a cup of coffee. Would you join me?
Oh, of course.
Okay, good. Come on. This way.
Houston, according to the news yesterday, another lifeguard was killed. Another female, both of these murders took place in Malibu.
That's right. And they were only 20 years old, and, well, I've tried to tell the police, but they won't listen.
Now, Alice, you've worked for Houston Industries for many years now, and I know you're very good at your job. I'm also aware of the concern that a parent has for their child. But to tell you quite honestly, Alice, the feasibility of a shark as a murder weapon,
You say I'm great at what I do. I compute statistics. I figure the odds on people living, on people dying, and the odds of their having a heart attack.
Well, yeah, I know that, Alice.
Well, what do you think the odds are on 2 girls stationed in Malibu within 4 weeks, both being eaten by sharks?
Houston, apparently there are only 10 shark fatalities a year anywhere in the world.
Yeah, well, Alice, I'm not trying to be mule-headed about this whole thing. It's just that I'm having a hard time figuring out how you set a shark down and tell him, go kill somebody.
I'm sorry, it's just Sue. She's my little girl. And
Oh, come on, Alice. Now, don't cry, all right? It's going to be okay. Listen, I tell you what, we'll look into this thing, okay?
Oh, will you?
You sure? I'll read some books. We got some fish books around here. Listen, just please, don't worry about it, okay?
I called a shark expert and told him you'd be there in an hour.
You Houston? Oh, yes, I am. Wendell Murdoch. Oh, yeah, the shark expert. Listen, I appreciate you taking your time. Well, I don't know what I can do for you, Mr. Houston. I certainly don't have much time to give you. But the message in the office said that you were a friend of the girl who was killed yesterday.
Well, yeah, in a manner of speaking. Listen, did you know her?
I suppose. In passing, mostly. See, I'm a bit of a loner. I find my closest friends to be fish. They don't play with your emotions.
Well, they have been known to kill.
So what are you here for, Mr. Houston?
Well, a friend asked me to poke around a little bit and see if I could find out why that shark had something against Emily or the other lifeguard.
Probably about as much as the sun or the wind. I'll give you a little free information on sharks. You know, they're one of the oldest living creatures on Earth. 6 million years old, basically unchanged. Yeah, they can be terrifying. They can also be beautiful. And sharks don't hold grudges.
Well, they do have tendency to get a nasty streak in them every now and then, don't they?
Blaming a shark for his behavior is about as smart as blaming a dog for barking. It's just nature.
Well, I'm not blaming the shark. I'm just trying to figure out why he did what he did. Now, everybody I talk to tells me you're the shark expert, so here I am. I just want to talk to you a little bit.
Yeah, I'm sure they also told you that they consider me antisocial. You see, as far as I'm concerned, sharks have more rights in the ocean than surfers or lifeguards. That's their home. But people feel the necessity to go out and find sharks, hunt them down, and kill them, just to prove how macho they are.
Well, maybe what we're dealing with here is a real macho shark. You see, we got 2 lifeguards that are dead, and neither one of them were shark hunting.
So what can I tell you?
Now, listen, now hold on a minute. Now, we got 2 shark victims in less than 4 weeks. Now, those are pretty long odds. Now, even an unsociable shark expert's got to have a theory on that. What's yours?
You want to know my theory? My theory is that it's people like you that make people like me antisocial.
People I talked to about Emily loved her. She didn't have an enemy in the world. But when I tried to go beyond that, tried to dig a little deeper into her personality, they all clammed up. They're a real tight little group, if you get my drift.
Yeah, well, CJ, it's nice to have loyal friends, but we're right in the middle of a murder investigation. Now, there has got to be a reason why those 2 girls were killed.
You mean we got to find out what they're all about? Good question, but how?
Well, I'll tell you, CJ, there comes a time in every man's life where he's got to make a sacrifice for a good cause.
There does?
Yeah, I believe it's called getting into the swim of things.
Luckily, Houston had qualified as a lifeguard once before, and his certificate was still valid. Work, work, work.
Deserted out here today, isn't it?
Really? We could get arrested for taking money under false pretenses.
Well, killer sharks do have a way of discouraging beachgoers.
Damn it, Sue, do you have to keep talking about
Phil, I'm sorry. I didn't mean... Phil and Emily were, well, you know, close.
How close is close?
Well, engagement close, almost. See, it sort of happened all of a sudden. Emily was dating this other guy, and then she decided he was a real creep and dumped him.
Oh, this creep. Does he have a name?
Oh, yeah, Wendell. Wendell Murdoch. He works at Oceana Fun Park.
Oh, good old Wendell, huh? The shark expert. Well, that's real interesting. Sue, did your mother tell you why I'm out here?
Yeah, she told me. I don't know why she doesn't accept the fact that I'm a big girl now and I have to be on my own.
Because she's a mother. And she loves you very much, Sue. Now, you got to understand that. It's going to take her a little time, but she'll lighten up.
I know. Hey, listen, you don't have to worry about me blowing your cover either.
I'll take my chances.
Shark! Shark! There's a fin out there! Shark!
That's Ned!
You better get some help. Go on, I'll try and draw him off.
I guess these sand otters are really good luck after all. Thank
Houston still wasn't convinced that sharks can be converted into lethal weapons. But on the chance that they could, he decided we should look for a common denominator among those people who were closest to the dead lifeguards. From what I could determine, there were only 4 people who went to both of Scott Neville's parties on the days the girls were killed by the sharks. So, let's start with our genial host himself, Mr. Neville. He's known as the king of TV commercials. He's produced ads that cover everything from soap suds to soda pop. He's made millions. He throws more parties than Hugh Hefner, and he loves the ladies, especially cute little lifeguard ladies, and they seem to like him a lot, too.
That's Glenda Collins. She's one of the most sexiest movie stars. You know, I haven't seen her around in a while.
Well, that's showbiz, if you get my drift.
Yeah. Listen, CJ, isn't it a step backwards for her to be doing commercials?
Yes and no. The word is that she desperately needs the money in the short run. In the long run, she intends to be Mrs. Scott Neville.
Yeah, I wonder if she sees all the lady lifeguards as a threat.
Well, if she does, I hope Mr. Neville has a lot of hospital insurance, because a few years ago she found her second husband with another woman. Both husband and lover left by way of ambulance.
Charming.
Yes, it is. Now, this is Sam Gleason, the writer. He had a few books on the bestseller list when sex and violence were popular. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Well, recently he's fallen on hard times.
Yeah, I do remember him. Now, wasn't he the one that did some very fantastic publicity stunts just to sell his books?
That's right. As a matter of fact, he had a story about rabid bats terrorizing a small town in the Midwest. So he hired a plane and had them drop 500 bats over Chicago.
Nice. Yeah, what's his latest book about?
I don't know what the plot is, but I want you to hold on to your socks when I tell you the title. Shark Alley.
Oh, yeah, I met him. Wendell Murdoch, the shark expert. Besides lying to me about his relationship with Emily, I swear the man does not care for anything that doesn't breathe water or swim with fins.
No, and he has what is loosely termed a vicious sense of humor. Apparently, a professor in college gave him a low mark, so he took 2 piranhas, dropped them into the professor's fish tank, and seconds later, 87 tropical prize fish were 2 piranhas ready for the fat farm.
Good, yeah. You see, Jay, if anybody can turn a shark into a murder weapon, he can. I think he's our prime candidate. We better dig a little deeper on him. He's also got to figure out a way to talk to our other 3 suspects.
Oh, well, now that's easy, because in my last batch of information, Scott Neville's throwing another party tomorrow.
Yeah, he is a happy soul. I think we ought to invite ourselves to that one.
Well, welcome to Sodom by the Sea. Yeah. I wonder where our host is.
Well, I don't see him, but I do see Sam Gleason over there.
Oh, that's right. He's that author, Shark Alley. Listen, CJ, you're the literary type. Why don't you nuzzle up to him, see if you can get him to tell you all about the plot of that book. Meanwhile, I'll look for our host.
Say no more.
I only agreed to do these commercials because of you.
Do them the way I want.
But you said we were going to Tahiti.
Oh, darling, we are. But there are a couple of shots I need here first.
With me in the water, doesn't that bother you? There are sharks out there killing people.
Darling, I love you. I'd never let you do anything that would be dangerous.
I'm scared, Scott. You know, I would do anything you want, but I'm scared.
Come in.
Mr. Neville. Excuse me, I hope I'm not interrupting you.
Not at all.
My name's Matt Houston. I'm a new lifeguard here.
How do you do?
Yeah, pretty good. Listen, I'm from down around Newport way.
Well, I'm glad to meet you. I hate to drink alone. I hate to drink, period, but it filters reality. Will you have one?
Oh, no, thanks.
What can I do for you?
Well, you see, I've got a friend, and she's a mother, and she's got a daughter that's a lifeguard, so you can imagine she's a little concerned right now.
I don't blame her. What's it got to do with me?
Well, Mr. Neville, see, she's got this kind of crazy, far-fetched notion that the lady lifeguards were murdered by a shark.
Murdered? How does one teach a shark to commit murder?
Oh, you got me. See, that's what I'm trying to find out. Now, there's only one person I can think of who I could get some information from. I tried to talk to him, but he wouldn't. And I heard that he's a friend of yours and spends some time here at parties.
Wendell Murdoch?
Yeah, that's right. That's him.
Wendell knows sharks better than he knows people. I guess you could say he and I are friends in an odd sort of way, but I'm afraid Wendell's a different sort of young man.
Yeah, I gathered that when I talked to him.
And if he's decided not to help you, there's nothing I or anybody else can do to change his mind.
Well, it was worth a shot anyway. Thanks for your time.
Yeah, anytime.
Since he is such an odd bird, I mean, how come you 2 guys are friends?
A mutual interest in conservation. I agreed to help him with his favorite project, a film to stop the wanton killing of sharks.
Financial help?
No. Tips on writing the script, maybe producing the film gratis.
You're a shark expert, too.
No, I don't know the first thing about them, other than what Wendell told me. Now, the film would be my way of keeping the balance of nature balanced. You sure you won't have a drink?
No, I'll tell you, I better take a rain check. Right now, my only concern is keeping the balance of nature balanced in favor of the lady lifeguards.
Well, like I told you, I'm the Hemingway type. I live the characters I write. I do my own research. I mean, there's no substitute for the real thing, is there?
You know, I couldn't agree with you more. As a matter of fact, there's something I've wanted to ask you about for quite some time now. Your last book, Shark Alley.
Oh, forget about that. My next book, I guarantee you, is going to be on the bestseller list. Do you know what I call it?
What?
Sex on Kilimanjaro.
It has a real ring to it.
You like it?
Yeah, I do.
Listen, I'm going to be up there with those big guys. That Irving, what's his name? Anyway, Sidney Sheldon, Capote, Mailer. I mean, the cream of the cream.
Yeah, well, now, see, this is a hobby of mine, reading all those books. So if you could just give me a list of your previous titles, like Shark Alley.
Wait a minute. Hold it. The old juices are starting to run. I got it. I got it. Here. Right. 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 Your phone number.
What for?
Because you are going to be the next heroine in my novel. And I am going to make you...
Famous.
Famous!
As famous as Emily Merrill?
Who?
Emily Merrill, the little lifeguard who was killed. Someone said you were around here the day that happened.
Oh, yeah. That was a real bummer. Why don't you just tell me your phone number and I'll write down, huh?
Did you know her real well?
Yeah, well, a little bit, you know, Come on, what's with all these questions?
Well, maybe we can make a deal. You tell me where I can pick up a copy of Shark Alley, and I'll tell you why I'm asking you all these questions.
You know, you are a one-track, one-dimensional person. And you'd make a lousy heroine.
I'll have to make out.
Like a blowtorch at a Smokey the Bear convention.
She's hiding it, but she's scared. We're all scared. There's never been sharks in the area before. Not like this.
Well, I'll tell you what worries me, Phil, and that's the fact that this shark has acquired a taste for ladies. Not just ladies, but lady lifeguard.
You don't think there's anything more to it than chance, do you?
Well, listen, Phil, I know it sounds crazy, but from here on out, I'd feel a lot better if every time Sue goes in the water, one of us is right behind her.
I don't know. Getting to be a female lifeguard is tough, and Sue has got a lot of pride. Oh, by the way, we're having a bonfire birthday party for her after work. We're going to call it off after what happened to Emily. A lot of people were on their way down from up north. Anyway, you're invited.
I'm looking forward to it.
Dune buggies. And how many times do you have to tell them to listen?
Relax, all right? I'm going to handle this. Hey, wait a minute there. Hold on.
So sorry. I'm afraid I haven't had much experience with these things.
You know these things aren't allowed in this area.
Haven't I seen you before? With your clothes on?
Oh, that's right. It was over at Mr. DeBille's house. You were running out the door, and I was standing there. You seemed to be a little upset at the time.
Was I? Well, I guess I'd better get this off your beat.
Oh, yeah. Well, listen, I did want to ask you one more question. Now, you're doing television commercials now. Isn't that kind of a step down from motion pictures?
I'm doing this commercial as a favor to Mr. Neville. We're engaged to be married.
Oh, you're kidding me. Yeah, it's you Hollywood people. You got a great sense of humor.
What's that supposed to mean?
Well, I was Mr. Neville. He's a ladies' man. You know, he chases the beach bunnies all around. Wow. Oh, maybe I should rephrase that.
I don't know what your game is, Tarzan, but you have a very irritating manner.
Wish Phil would get back. It's taken such a long time for a beer run.
Yeah, well, don't worry about it. He'll be here shortly. You know, Sue, most folks say that happiness is an awful lot like honey. When you spread it all around, you're bound to get some on you.
It's a nice down-home thought, Houston. I think I got a little of that honey on me, too.
No, CJ, I believe what you got on you is a sand crab. Look out! Listen, what's this?
Oh, that's a sand dollard. It's the lifeguard's good luck charm. I just wish I knew who sent it.
There's no card?
No, I think it got lost. Isn't it pretty, though? You know, Emily had one just like it.
Do you mind if I hang on to this for a little while?
No, go right ahead.
So give us a song.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Come on, Sue.
Thank you.
Sue, yeah.
Thank
I
you.
like that idea.
Oh.
Yeah, make it a good one.
All right. Try.
Why don't you get this to Novelli and have his boys at the lab take a look at it?
We looking for something special?
Well, could be anything, but if there's something in there, they're going to find it. I also need you to run a couple of checks for me. One on Mr. Happy Face and his sometimes movie star house guest.
What kind of checks do you want?
Well, I need a financial statement on Scott and Bell. Yeah, I'd like to know exactly how much that man's worth.
What about the lady?
Well, I need to know how dangerous she is. I see, I had kind of an ungentlemanly-like conversation with her this afternoon. That woman's got a temper.
Well, we knew that from when she attacked her ex-husband and his girlfriend.
Yeah, but what we don't know is if that attack took place on the spur of the moment or if it was planned over a long period of time. Get everybody out of here.
You know that lifeguard, Phil Bromley, he claims that while you were being conked on the head, his car was rear-ended. That's what held him up.
Well, does it check out?
We don't know yet.
Well, Vince, don't get testy. I'm just asking questions here. Now, did the lab boys come up with anything on that sand dollar necklace we sent them?
We just got it a couple of hours ago. I mean, it's probably not even downtown yet. And believe me, no civil service lab boy is going to be down there before morning to examine it.
Relax, Vince. Yeah, well, so I suppose it's out of the question if I ask you if you come up with anything on the would-be murder weapon.
It's just a regular spear gun. I wonder who the victim was, you or Sue?
I would imagine it's me. See, I've been asking an awful lot of questions for an everyday run-of-the-mill lifeguard.
You always have to wait until the food is served.
When you gotta go, Pop.
Yeah, Vince, if it was me, it means our killer shark's got a human on the payroll. Yeah. Oh, Vince. Hear that?
You're not going to start with that shark theory again, are you?
Well, Vince, I know it sounds weird, but yeah, it's the only one I've got. And I'm even beginning to believe it myself. At least I think I am. Yeah. Oh, hold on.
Okay. Convince me that sharks can be trained to kill.
Vincenzo, siediti. The food is getting cold.
And then give me a motive. Maybe I'll buy it. No, better yet, why don't you come down to the station and look through our mug book and you point out the killer shark?
You're not very funny tonight, Vince.
I'm in a very funny mood. My wife's gone to her sister's wedding for 3 days, and I never knew how hard wives had it.
Hey, Houston, take a look. Did you ever see 4 such handsome boys? Eh? And what eaters? Mamma mia. Italian eaters. Ah, non c'è che dire. Oh, grow big and strong.
I love them. But it's like living with 4 Pac-Men. I mean, did you ever see the food prices lately?
Yeah, they do put away the groceries, Vance.
Yeah, if only their father had the good sense to eat more often like this, he'd probably have enough strength to have more than only 4 sons. Ma che fa sta roba in sala? Ma che sei matto? Oh.
Think it's too late for me to run away and join the Navy?
Ah, what is it this time, Houston? I don't have much time. I got a lot of work to do. Force feeding a great white shark we caught last night. It won't eat.
Yeah, well, I'd be careful. See, I had a friend back home. He used to stick his hand in a cougar's mouth just for a joke. Well, we call him Lefty now.
Yeah, that's very funny. Like I said, what do you want?
Same thing I wanted before. I want to know who's turning those girls into shark bait. Listen, could you tell me something? Does this tank open up out into the ocean?
Yes, the shark tank opens up into the ocean. That's how we get the seawater in the tank.
Yeah, so these sharks can come and go as they please, as long as somebody wants them to.
If they did, there's no guarantee they'd return.
Yeah, unless somebody had a surefire method of getting them back again. Yeah, see, I read this nifty little article in the Marine Life Journal. Yeah, some fella came up with a theory that you could play sharks anywhere you wanted to with a low-frequency signal in the water.
Some fella, huh? Let's not play games, Houston. You know that fellow was me. And if you read the article, you also know I said I was working on the process.
Well, why do I get a sneaking suspicion that you've already done it? Now, why don't you tell me where you were yesterday afternoon, about 5 o'clock?
Why don't you tell me something? Who are you? You're certainly no lifeguard. What are you, some undercover cop?
No, I'm a question asker. And I'm still waiting for my answer.
I was with a guy named Scott Neville, and you can check that one out.
Oh, yeah, Mr. Neville. You were working on your shark conservation script, weren't you?
Who told you about that?
Oh, Mr. Neville did. Does that bother you? You know, Wendell, it's one thing to be antisocial. It's another to be stupid. It's been real nice visiting with you, Mr. Neville. Oh, you know what? I was looking for Wendell. I figured he might be here working on your script with you.
You should have come here last night. He was working on the script until past midnight. He should be at work now.
Oh, good. I'll check over there. Thanks again.
Oh, excuse me. I'm Debbie. I'm late for an appointment with Mr. Neville about a job tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. Well, you'll find Mr. Neville right over...
Houston! Houston, I've got papers for you to sign. Wait right there.
Uh-oh. Yeah, Mr. Neville, is it? Yeah, listen, you really want that job tomorrow?
Oh, I'd kill for it. Almost.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, don't look now, but right over my shoulder, Mr. Neville's coming. Now, he's a little bit eccentric.
What?
Strange. He's weird. Now, listen, he's probably going to tell you his name's Murray and he's looking for a man named Houston, but don't pay any attention to that, all right? Now, if you really want that job, come here, I'll tell you what you got to do.
Really?
Yeah.
I heard TV people were weird, but...
Boy, he's not just weird, he's crazy weird.
Houston, you've got to sign this. It'll just take a moment, and then you can do whatever the...
Hi, Mr. Neville.
No, the name's Murray.
I'm Debbie.
The name's Murray.
He told me you'd say that.
I have to talk to, Houston.
Oh, he told me you'd say that. He told me you'd say that.
Oh, he did.
You know what else he said? He said I should do this.
Huh? Oh, my merger.
I've got a problem. You're dealing with a problem. It's all mine. I don't know what to do. I've been waiting to talk to you for 2 weeks about this problem. I don't right this way. Everyone's got the time to get it. Oh, no. You go get a drink, right? No. Only take a half hour.
Houston, would you mind making that double a triple?
Why? Am I in some sort of trouble?
Oh, you're in clover. Look at this.
Oh, Samuel Gleason's book, Shark Alley.
Houston, I've read it. It's a blueprint for murder.
Well, how about 2 murders?
You got it.
Both female?
You got it.
Both lifeguards?
You got it.
Both by shark attack?
You haven't got it. It's about a young, rich Texan who likes to play private investigator.
No wonder the book bombed.
But this young, rich Texan likes to make other people think the shark did it.
Well, CJ, we know the shark did it. I mean, there's a whole bunch of people standing around. Would you quit looking at me like I'm your #1 suspect?
But, Houston, we don't have a motive here. Now, who's going to go around killing lady lifeguards?
Well, more important, we need to find out who has the ability to turn a shark into a murder weapon.
Well, it always boils down to...
Yeah, I know, Wendell. Yeah, Wendell, our favorite shark expert. I mean, he's got an intimate relationship with a killer shark that's got his own coming and going door.
And he's always experimenting with shark control.
Oh, he lied to me about his relationship with Emily.
Yeah, he's got to be the one who did it.
There is no doubt about it, CJ. Hello. Hi, Vince. Right. Well, that was Vince. He's with our #1 suspect.
He's going to confess.
No, he got shot with a spear gun. He's dead. Hey, Vince, that's 2 lifeguards and 1 shark expert dead. You still not convinced?
It's got to be the most confusing murder case in history.
How? You said murder. Does that mean you're convinced now?
Hey, right now, you could sell me on E.T. eloping with the Tooth Fairy. But it makes sense. You know that medallion you gave me to examine?
Yeah?
It took a while, but the lab boys found a low-frequency transmitter inside.
Low frequency. Well, that's just like the one Wendell was writing about in those articles. Now, maybe he did perfect it. Now, Vince, let's just take a look at something here now. Now, suppose that the killer was exploiting Wendell, just using him for his shark knowledge, right? Now, the killer was using those sharks as murder weapons to kill the lifeguards. Suppose Wendell found out about it, threatened to blow the whistle, and he killed him.
Then why would they kill the lifeguards in the first place?
If we knew that, Vince, we wouldn't be standing here like fish out of water.
Papa.
They never stop eating. Over here.
Yeah, Vince, why are we sitting over here when you kids are sitting over there?
Survival of the fittest.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to get in the way of all those swinging elbows. No.
I just can't stand to see anybody eat spaghetti with their bare hands.
Ecco qua. A nice dish of nutritious pasta.
Mama, we're not hungry.
Vincenzo, why can't you be more like your own sons? Of course you're not hungry. You don't eat enough to be hungry. You don't have the energy to be hungry.
Well, we're trying to solve a murder case.
Somebody was murdered?
Yeah, 2 young ladies, Mama. And if we don't find out who did it, there's liable to be some more.
Hey, ma come? What kind of policeman are you? Somebody's gonna get murdered, and all you can think about is food? Vergognati. Why can't you be more like Houston? Oh, never eat. In certi casi ci vuole anche un po' di coscienza, figlio mio.
Did you ever think that my mother was operating on a different plane?
Yeah. Wait a minute. Maybe we've been operating on a different plane here, Vince. You see, all this time we've been looking for a motive. Now, a motive for why those 2 girls were killed. What if the 2 lifeguards were killed for no other reason but to cover up another murder, one that hasn't happened yet?
Kill a 3rd lifeguard.
Yeah, 3, 4, 5, it really wouldn't make any difference because that's not the point. See, the ultimate victim might not have anything to do with lifeguards at all.
2 murders to cover up one. Why?
Well, it's to throw us all off track, Vince, which is where we've been since day 1 on this thing.
Interesting theory, but I still don't have a murderer or a motive.
Not necessarily true, Vince.
Oh, you 2 look like the coyote that just ate the chicken. What do you got?
What we've got is Scott Neville's financial statement.
Mr. Neville's finances are the Titanic. His idea of a TV commercial apparently went out of style a couple of years ago. The man lives high, and his creditors are closing in on him.
I know how Neville feels. Did you ever try and buy shoes for 4 growing boys? Doesn't make him a killer.
Now, I would have thought so too, Vince, until I found a cash expenditure from last month. Now, he borrowed every dime that he could to buy a $10 million life insurance policy to cover the star of his latest TV ads.
Glenda.
You got it.
Yeah, and if he hasn't already, I'll bet you $1 Mr. Neville is about to present Glenda Collins with one of those sand dollar necklaces. CJ, you come with me. Vince, I want you to get a hold of the Harbor Patrol. You tell them to keep searching the waters around Neville's beach house for sharks. Murray, you drive CJ's car. I'm going to warn Glenda.
Glenda, dear, you look lovely.
Where's Scott, our producer?
Well, he said he'd be out in just a minute. All right, now look, what I need for you is to swim out about 100 feet, and then when I give you the cue, swim back in. Body surf as much as you can, okay?
Let's just get this over with as quickly as possible.
All right, people, let's get this in one take. Okay, Glenda, whenever you're ready. Action, go, go! go. Move it.
Miss Collins, get the hell out of that water.
You don't realize you just ruined our shot.
Yeah, well, I wasn't trying to ruin your shot. I was trying to ruin his lunch.
Oh, my God. I tried to tell Scott it was too dangerous.
Yeah, well, I doubt if he was listening to you because I think he's the one that put you on the menu with this thing.
That was a tasty dinner Sue fixed up. It's good to see her and her mother getting along so well, isn't it?
Yes, and nice that she feels her little bird can fly out of the nest.
Oh, hi there. We met at Mr. Neville's other place.
Yeah, we did. We certainly did.
Houston, I can explain.
I doubt it.
Is something wrong, Mr. Neville?
Shh! Quiet, Pumpkin. Debbie.
But Mr. Neville...
Mr. Neville, right. The Hollywood producer, the one that can arrange the big, fat speaking parts.
Houston, you told her I was Neville.
Hold it. You're not Mr. Neville?
Debbie, well, as a matter of fact...
No, I think what Mr. Neville is trying to say is that we shouldn't have barged in like this. It was a terrible mistake, and I promise you it will never happen again, ma'am. And sir.
Well, I'll overlook it.
Thank you.
This one time.
Mr. Neville, tell me about my part in your next commercial.
Debbie, for the last time, stop calling me Mr. Neville. The name's Scott.